There were only three types of people: those who watched, those who fought, and those forgotten. A monstrous roar cracked the heavens as the beast emerged, dripping venom, thrashing wildly beneath the storm. Viewers across the stream gasped. Rumors exploded. Was this a hidden boss event or a massive glitch? With trembling fingers, the streamer activated a forgotten relic. Lightning burst out as watchers held their breath. Spells collided, shaking the cavern. Fire and shadow merged violently as the beast screamed under the mage's assault. The chat exploded with excitement. Everyone waited, breath held, as the battlefield trembled from explosive skill chains. From the cliff's edge, Lee Seol appeared. Her arrival alone shifted the atmosphere and drew every gaze. The moment her foot touched the stone, voices erupted. Viewers recognized her presence and knew what followed. With a calm gesture, she raised her hand. The divine roulette began spinning, glowing brighter with power. A radiant flash engulfed the area. Wings spread wide as Lee Seol descended, judgment ready to strike. Light wings unfurled above the battlefield. The roulette spun rapidly, and the skill's name hadn't appeared yet. The monster backed away slowly. Players braced themselves. No one knew what kind of skill would descend. A sudden roar shattered silence. Flame erupted around the beast as its instincts warned of overwhelming power. In the blinding flash, truth was revealed. This wasn't luck. It was pure, calculated, divine-level fortune. The goddess Nike descended with spear in hand. Divine retribution activated. The entire raid shifted in seconds. The audience cheered as Nike's strike crushed the beast's core, leaving only one head standing defiant. Explosions from the group's follow-up attacks landed hard. The last head roared, but its movement slowed visibly. A warrior waved both arms high, signaling all tanks to retreat. The final phase was about to start. Calm and focused, the guild's mage stepped forward. His pendant glowed as ancient power gathered in silence. The circle surged with fire. With hands raised, he cast a forbidden spell to claim the last blow. Merlin's eyes narrowed with intent. The chat reacted instantly. This wasn't just flair. It was something new. From the summoning seal, a blazing form burst forth. The legendary flame dragon answered the call. With precision, Merlin raised his staff, then swung downward without hesitation, channeling power through the burning beast. A roaring blast tore across the battlefield, vaporizing stone and shadow alike in a wave of heat. The monster screeched in agony, its body sent flying as the attack crushed through its final defense. The dragon's charred remains spiraled downward. Smoke followed as silence blanketed the cavern in the aftermath. Cheers erupted. Players glanced around in disbelief. The impossible boss was finally slain before the dungeon reset. Across the cliffside, teammates exchanged grins. Their success echoed louder than any attack during the entire raid. Notifications rang out confirmation of victory. The legendary double-headed dragon had fallen. Loot awaited the guild's final roll. Crowds gathered near the portal. Lee Seol reappeared calmly, surrounded by admirers eager to learn what dropped. With the boss down, players relaxed. The crowd scattered while some stayed to chat or share moments. The screen dimmed as the broadcast closed. The raid was over. The Abyss Guild's stream had ended. Inside the dark room, the streamer sat quietly. Lights faded around him as the headset powered down. He slowly opened his eyes, expression blank. Hours of combat flashed through his mind in silence. Looking at the payment notification, he screamed, "Just 300,000 won?" Reality struck harder than any raid boss. Hyunwoo argued over the call. The guild's pay was unfair, considering the raid's intense difficulty. He paced the hallway, frustrated. He wasn't being greedy, just asking for fair compensation after surviving tough runs. The broker's response was final. Guilds controlled the rates. There was nothing more to negotiate or demand. Before Hyunwoo could protest further, the call ended. His breath hitched in anger as rejection echoed again. Startled by a voice, Hyunwoo turned. A neighbor peeked out, noticing his outburst. He quickly apologized. Hyunwoo sighed. If the pay stayed low, he'd have to tank raids non-stop all month again. His neighbor envied him. Few players ever earned real income from God Wars, despite its massive base. Out of over 1 billion users, only 15 million made enough from raids to live decently. "You've got good skills," the neighbor added with a grin. But Hyunwoo wasn't sure anymore if that mattered. Hyunwoo knew he had talent. But God Wars was different, no auto-targeting, no assist systems, only skill. Though Hyunwoo leveled faster than others, he always relied on relentless grinding instead of real breakthroughs. He trained non-stop day and night. Each gain came slowly, through repetition, not special moments or shortcuts. Deep down, he feared mediocrity more than failure. Average effort earned nothing in this brutal system. His friend offered encouragement, but Hyunwoo only nodded. The dream of catching up already felt far away. Both agreed the best players already dominated. The window to make it big was closing faster than ever. His friend reminded him Hyunwoo had invested 5 years into his main character, never switching classes once. He'd spent a fortune chasing the magician class. Countless failures, wasted rolls, and mounting regret haunted him. Still, Hyunwoo clenched his fist. There was no reset button now. He had only one path forward. He couldn't give up. His reason for pushing through the grind was always his mother and sister. When asked what he was reading, Hyunwoo smiled faintly. "Just a fantasy novel," he answered quietly. Hyunwoo explained the novel's plot: revenge after betrayal, a second chance granted by returning to the past. He brushed off the comment and stepped outside, refusing to let the rain slow him down. Raindrops hit his palm. He welcomed the cold, letting it soak in without resistance or care. Without an umbrella, Hyunwoo dashed across the pavement, his thoughts louder than the rain around him. He wondered aloud if someone could return to the past. Why would revenge still even matter? Hyunwoo scoffed at himself. Dreaming of miracles felt foolish. Luck wasn't something he ever believed in. Suddenly, tires slid across wet pavement. A gust of wind cut through as danger approached from behind. A honk snapped him from thought. He turned, face pale, as headlights blazed through the rain. The van skidded hard. The driver screamed. Hyunwoo froze, unable to move as the vehicle closed in. Metal clashed violently. The world shattered in an instant. Then only silence and the sound of thunder. The truck skidded sideways and slammed into a pole. Metal groaned beneath the weight of impact. Raindrops poured steadily as the wreckage hissed. A lone figure staggered forward from where the truck passed. Hyunwoo sat stunned. His hands shook. The world around him continued, unaware of what almost happened. Bystanders rushed over, checking the scene. Voices overlapped concern for the driver, the crash, and the young man. Hyunwoo cursed under his breath, sweat mixed with rain. Reality hit. He had nearly lost everything in seconds. The pole leaned dangerously. Cracks spread as loose wires whipped in the storm above unaware bystanders. Hyunwoo stood still, blaming his misfortune. He tried to stay positive, at least he wasn't injured yet. A loud thud interrupted his thoughts. He turned slowly, the tension creeping up his back. Blue sparks burst from the cable. Everyone backed away, but Hyunwoo was already too close. Electricity surged through the street. Pain shot through Hyunwoo's body as the current overwhelmed his senses completely. Crowds panicked under the rain. Hyunwoo's body sparked faintly, lying motionless amid the chaos and shouts. His eye glowed blue. Consciousness returned slowly as water poured over him, amplifying the surreal sensation. Though injured and dazed, Hyunwoo stood up. Medics rushed in, unaware his life had just changed completely. A virtual reality game, God Wars, launched in 2023, letting players experience war, magic, and dragons firsthand. Set in a fantasy world, the game promised total immersion, captivating players with quests, dungeons, and glory. Within years, God Wars revolutionized digital life, becoming a dominant social platform and competitive scene worldwide. The game reached 1 billion users globally, influencing everything from economy to entertainment and culture itself. Now in the present day, online gaming like God Wars shaped daily life and personal aspirations deeply. Young Hyunwoo screamed in frustration as the doctor delivered more bad news about his worsening condition. Ordered to rest and avoid stress, he was told to ring the bell if needed. Meanwhile, the title Grand Warlock streamer appeared, marking the beginning of a new episode in his journey. Outside, he kicked a can, muttering about the miserable day and his endless streak of misfortune. He sighed, realizing he'd been electrocuted, dumped, and broke, feeling like everything was a huge waste of effort. Jung Hyunwoo returned home quietly, hoping Taewoo and Hyerin were doing okay after everything that happened. He scanned his hand on the door panel, but the system rejected his biometric code unexpectedly. Startled, he looked down in confusion, unable to understand why access was suddenly being denied tonight. He tried again and again, but the panel kept flashing unregistered biometric code without any explanation. Frustrated, he blamed the faulty public housing system, swearing to leave once he had the chance. A cheerful girl, Hyerin, greeted Jung Hyunwoo warmly as he stepped inside the apartment with relief. He smiled and lifted her up, asking how her day went after being apart since morning. She beamed, saying it was great, but quickly asked the question weighing on her young heart. Hyunwoo replied gently that her father, Taewoo, was there, pointing to him seated across the room. Taewoo stood and asked about Hyunwoo's hospital visit, surprised to hear about his unexpected fall outside. Taewoo looked concerned and asked again if Hyunwoo was truly all right after being released so suddenly. Hyunwoo brushed it off, explaining the hospital wouldn't have discharged him if anything was seriously wrong. He pointed toward the door lock, confused why it rejected him, even though this was his home. Taewoo was surprised. He insisted the system couldn't be broken since it was running without any error. Hyunwoo explained that the lock used the same biometric code system as the God Wars capsules. Hyunwoo started sweating as a realization struck him something was seriously wrong with his biometric identity data. Without explaining, he dashed out of the apartment, yelling he needed to get to the capsule station. Reaching the station, he argued that all his personal information had been submitted correctly without any error. Frustrated, he shouted, demanding why he couldn't access the game just because of a code mismatch. The response shocked him. He was told to consult a lawyer just for asking about his account. Hyunwoo reflected on the biometric code system, an encoded version of a person's unique biological information. Frustrated, he ran his hand through his hair, unable to understand why it suddenly stopped working. He recalled how the biometric code was nearly impossible to fake, making it the most secure system. Sitting down, he considered the worst that maybe he had been blacklisted or blocked from the game. Then it hit him everything worked fine just yesterday. What happened between then and now to cause this? Hyunwoo suddenly realized the timing was the electric shock, the reason his biometric code became unrecognizable now. He stared at the rejection screen in disbelief, crushed that he couldn't even access his game. Darkness filled his thoughts as despair sank in, believing everything he built in God Wars was gone. He remembered the effort, time, and money spent developing his character. It all felt completely wasted now. The pain reminded him of another low moment in life, bringing back that same helpless, sinking feeling. Hyunwoo's eyes widened with determination. He couldn't give up now, not after everything he'd been through. He clenched his fist, telling himself quitting God Wars wasn't an option, not with responsibilities waiting. He decided to abandon his dream of becoming a top ranker and focus on survival instead. Farming at mining camps could at least help him earn enough money to support the household. He approached the capsule area with resolve, asking Hyukju to prepare it. He needed to start immediately. Hyunwoo sat in the capsule, relieved he still had a backup character card to use. As the system began logging him in, he quietly muttered his disbelief at starting over again. The screen flashed brightly, asking if he wished to enter the war of the gods he accepted. He reflected that God Wars might feel more real than life, yet both shared similar struggles. Before even playing, he had to confirm card use since creating a character required massive financial cost. Hyunwoo thought bitterly how every item in God Wars cost an outrageous amount to obtain or craft. Players would pay anything to get stronger, pushing the game's economy into an endless pay-to-win cycle. He stared at his character card, silently saying farewell to 880,000 won he couldn't afford losing. The screen asked him to select a deity, triggering his thoughts about farming items for profit again. But he knew better. If leveling and earning were simple, he wouldn't be stuck in this situation. Hyunwoo noted with frustration that even player classes in God Wars were determined by random draw. After all the money he poured into being a magician, everything now depended on sheer chance. He thought to himself only the rich or absurdly lucky could ever reach the top in gaming. Having drawn cards countless times, he already memorized every class but didn't expect much from this. He reached toward the screen with a sigh, reminding himself that class didn't matter, he'd be farming anyway. Hyunwoo froze as a glowing card revealed itself among the rest, something he hadn't seen before. He squinted at the card's label, reading the words Grand Warlock, and doubting what he saw. Thinking it was a mistake, he tapped the card to confirm, his heart pounding from disbelief. Suddenly, bright lights swirled, and a message declared he'd become the War Dragon's 82nd chosen follower. Another alert followed. He wasn't dreaming. He had officially become a Grand Warlock, an extremely rare class. The screen confirmed Hyunwoo's character, Midas, a level 1 Grand Warlock under the War Dragon deity. He screamed in shock, realizing even top players spent fortunes trying to obtain the Grand Warlock class. Still stunned, he questioned if it was truly possible he landed such a rare class instantly. Nearby players grumbled after drawing warriors again, frustrated with their luck and failed attempts at rarer classes. They dismissed the chance of ever getting a legendary class, saying only the rich like Asmo succeed. Hyunwoo stared at his status, realizing if it was real, everything in his plan had changed. He clenched his fist with determination, no more farming. He'd level up fast and start joining raid teams. Young Hyunwoo stared in disbelief, wondering if this impossible character class was truly assigned to him. If it's real, he thought, there's no need to grind, just skip straight into raid battles. Excited by the fantasy, he tapped yes on the tutorial quest screen, barely hiding his smile. A new quest appeared, but he assumed it was just a glitch from the system update. He expected to be reset as a normal warrior or magician, but something didn't feel right. Hyunwoo jumped back as strange messages flooded his screen, realizing something unusual had just been triggered. It wasn't just a rare class, there was hidden data only he seemed able to access. The quest screen revealed secret objectives and rewards not visible to regular players during tutorial missions. He stared in disbelief. The title, Tutorial Master, offered a rune granting +10 to all stats. Hyunwoo's thoughts raced. No one paid attention to tutorials, yet now they might hold real power. Hyunwoo realized the reward alone would boost him ahead enough to skip early grinding completely. Others nearby whispered curiously, assuming he was just another new player who restarted after being banned. Even after 5 years playing God Wars, he'd never heard of this secret tutorial title. The wall began to fall. If he survived, it would confirm the Grand Warlock class existed. He quickly tapped the record button, capturing everything might prove vital if no one believed his discovery. As the system activated, Hyunwoo clenched his fists, hoping it wasn't some dream or illusion. Other players panicked, confused by the sudden drop into a battle zone filled with real danger. They shouted in fear, realizing low-level beginners couldn't possibly fight the oncoming wave of armed monsters. Hyunwoo understood surviving 71 minutes would take planning. He'd need to dodge, not confront them head-on. Suddenly, one of the orcs lit up with a strange glow, drawing Hyunwoo's startled attention immediately. A strange glow surrounded one orc, and Hyunwoo noticed a symbol appearing above another player's head. He recognized it immediately. It was the aggro indicator, marking who the monsters would attack first. In God Wars, danger was real, but so were the rewards tied to real-life success. Many joined the game dreaming of wealth and status, chasing what seemed like limitless opportunity inside. But reality struck fast. Players quit, calling it a waste of time, effort, and most importantly, money. Every new player experiences the truth of God. War's brutality arrives faster than expected. One player was crushed underfoot, screaming in fear as others hesitated in frozen panic and disbelief. The moment players face reality is always during the tutorial, where survival isn't taught, only tested. A terrified player shouted in disbelief, realizing he'd have to be beaten to death to escape. An experienced player sprinted away, shouting that dying quickly was the best way to start properly. Hyunwoo sprinted as 3 massive orcs chased him, their steps heavy and filled with killing intent. His eyes widened. Even in danger, he noticed every detail. The rush made everything feel intensely real. He realized something shocking. He could see the orc status windows, including health and drop items. Each enemy had clear stats, including loot. This wasn't normal. No other beginner could see this data. Suddenly, one orc glanced back, pausing mid-chase, and Hyunwoo knew something unexpected was about to happen. One orc's green marker suddenly turned red with an exclamation. Hyunwoo instantly recognized the aggro shift. He understood now the color changes showed enemy behavior. Green meant safe, red meant danger and pursuit. The calm green circle was the sign of a passive state, no threat unless provoked or triggered. But staying calm wasn't enough. As soon as something changed, the chase would begin without warning. The red swirl pulsed aggressively, signaling that the orc had fully entered a hostile combat mode. Hyunwoo skidded to a stop, boots digging into the dirt as he braced for impact. The orc let out a furious roar, its aggro marker burned red, locked directly onto Hyunwoo. Hyunwoo understood immediately. The monster had selected him as the target. No mistake, no second chance. As the orc struck down, Hyunwoo narrowly dodged, trusting the reflexes he'd built over countless battles. He grinned. Years of practice evading orcs had finally paid off. This was exactly his element now. To earn the title Tutorial Master, Hyunwoo had to survive more than 71 intense minutes. With access to monster stats and aggro indicators, he had clear advantages over the average player. Years of evasion training gave him confidence he knew how to run without getting caught or trapped. No one else had discovered this secret quest, but his recording would prove everything was real. Clenching his fist, he pushed forward just one more hour of survival to claim a powerful title. Hyunwoo declared his goal with full determination. He would earn the title Tutorial Master, no matter what. 1 hour passed. Exhausted and drenched in sweat, Hyunwoo finally collapsed, struggling to catch his breath. He stared at the screen in disbelief. Everything he had done couldn't possibly be real, right? But the joy overtook him. A wide grin spread. He knew it wasn't some wild dream. To confirm everything, he tapped the replay button. The entire survival recording was stored perfectly on file. As the replay flashed, Hyunwoo cheered with full joy, reliving the moment he endured everything. He raised both arms in triumph. The timer hit 0, confirming his legendary tutorial survival achievement. Though he was trampled by orcs afterward, Hyunwoo still earned the title. Nothing could ruin that success. A message confirmed it. Tutorial Master title achieved, plus a rune boosting all of his stats. His heart raced so fast, the system nearly logged him out. It monitored extreme physical responses automatically. A friend noticed Hyunwoo's deep sigh and asked if something had gone wrong during his game. Hyunwoo hesitated while holding his headset, unsure how much of the truth he wanted to share. He admitted to feeling conflicted about starting over, though he avoided explaining the full reason why. The friend was confused. Hyunwoo already had a strong magician account. Why abandon it without a ban? Another nearby player overheard and looked surprised, asking bluntly if Hyunwoo's account had actually been banned. A classmate apologized for mentioning the ban, but Hyunwoo waved it off without showing any emotion. He dismissed the concern and returned to his pod, telling them not to mention it further. Internally, Hyunwoo knew he couldn't reveal anything. His ability was too rare and dangerous if exposed. He believed the electric shock yesterday triggered this gift, but the risks of discovery were too great. This was his one chance to escape poverty. He didn't know how long it would last. Hyunwoo logged back in, thinking of his friends Taewung and Hyeri who once played together. He arrived at the bright, bustling beginner zone known to all as the Town of Initiation. Looking around, he clenched his fist, realizing there were fewer than 10 grand warlocks in existence. Now was the time to grow stronger. He had to start grinding and prepare for group raids. To do that, he needed approval from the Adventurers Guild, which meant an official registration process. A strange glowing light near the tree caught Hyunwoo's attention as he slowed his pace curiously. He stepped closer and saw a glowing question mark. There shouldn't be any quest in that location. Confused, he gasped. Nothing in the guides mentioned this. What kind of hidden mission was this? A tiny puppy lay beneath the light, blinking softly. Hyunwoo had no idea how to react. In the vast digital sky of God Wars, a golden scroll suddenly shimmered into existence above him. It was a legendary quest, one of the rarest challenges hidden deep within the game's elite tier. Young Hyunwoo's heart pounded. The rumors were true. He was witnessing a legendary quest with his eyes. He clenched his fist, trying to stay composed, but excitement surged faster than any logic or strategy could. Even without accepting it, this quest's mere appearance promised wealth enough to cover his rent and food. Hyunwoo screamed into the void, blaming the game's absurd randomness for his unexpected legendary quest trigger. Yet just seconds later, he was praising the same luck-based game like a fanboy in denial. Trembling, he approached the faint figure beneath the tree, unsure what danger or fortune awaited him next. A system window appeared, revealing a sick, ownerless puppy and a hidden legendary quest few would ever uncover. As he compared screens, he confirmed his ability showed deeper quest layers invisible to other normal players. Hyunwoo acted casual while others passed by, hiding the quest's true information only he could access. He quickly hid the quest window, worried someone might glimpse the rare details and steal his opportunity. Guards circled nearby. Hyunwoo stayed calm, pretending to blend in. They couldn't suspect anything if he looked bored. Inside, Hyunwoo didn't feel safe. His ability to see hidden quests could make him everyone's target. While millions joined God Wars, only Hyunwoo could turn hidden legendary content into real-world money and fame. In God Wars, most players relied on guides or streamers to understand quests and progress efficiently together. These players often formed guilds or unions, gathering for mutual gain and to simplify difficult group content. But even with teams, some quests required something deeper: intuition, instinct, and emotional awareness not easily taught. That's where Hyunwoo stood apart. While others read guides, he trusted clues the system never directly revealed. This let him find quests worth thousands in real-world value, just by noticing overlooked details others ignored. Players began sharing quest reviews and monster data online, turning every encounter into valuable public information quickly. With data spreading fast, the Adventurers Guild model shifted into a structured, money-making business within the game. Hyunwoo sighed, frustrated. He couldn't transfer his abilities or hidden skills to a second character profile. A friendly guild clerk smiled, explaining the types of services available to help players complete difficult quests. From rental warriors to quest support, everything could be purchased, even teammates, to simplify clearing content others found impossible. The clerk explained payment options: players could use in-game gold or real-world currencies like yen or euros. Hyunwoo gave a tight smile, choosing the simplest package to avoid drawing too much attention again. Some tried cheating the Adventurers Guild, but those caught had to repay debts by grinding monsters endlessly. The guild's influence reached wealthy real-world clients, locking players into systems few could escape without full abandonment. As Hyunwoo received his quest slip, he understood the system's trap that many players blindly walked into. After receiving the receipt, Hyunwoo headed toward the guild's assigned NPC to begin the side quest. The muscular NPC confirmed the mission's title, Hayden's Errand, and prepared to verify its specific conditions and requirements. Hyunwoo nodded casually, ready to scan the quest window. He wanted to see every required task. The task seemed simple at first glance: gather and return with 10 goblin hides as requested. But upon tapping, a massive stream of hidden data burst forth, shocking Hyunwoo with unexpected complexity. Hyunwoo was shocked. He never imagined one simple quest could branch into so many linked missions. But his sharp eyes caught what mattered most: one hidden quest, directly connected to the legendary objective. He decided to act natural and not raise suspicion, avoiding any attention from nearby NPCs or players. He grinned confidently. Everything depended on hunting goblins fast, just enough to complete the legendary trigger condition. After a hard fight, Hyunwoo leveled up. The system message confirmed he was on the right path. A message appeared. Hyunwoo's god noticed his growth and was now offering a reward for his progress. The War Dragon granted him a rare chance to gain a skill, something truly valuable if lucky. He stood before hundreds of cards, remembering how random draws rarely gave him anything useful before. But this time, he wasn't leaving it to chance. His insight would guide the exact choice. Looking over the cards, Hyunwoo sighed most were junk. No mind or elite-ranked skills were in sight. Hyunwoo picked a familiar card. It wasn't legendary, but it granted a basic attack spell again. The system confirmed. He'd learned Fireball, a rare skill, simple but useful for early quests and grinding mobs. With a satisfied nod, Hyunwoo turned back toward town, ready to trigger the hidden legendary quest. Back at the quest desk, the same NPC greeted him, surprised to see him return quickly. Hyunwoo casually replied with a smile, claiming he'd finished them all, though his real target lay ahead. The NPC seemed impressed, assuming Hyunwoo's speed meant he was a high-level player with real skills. Hyunwoo laughed it off, joking that he nearly died fighting a goblin, playing the weakling on purpose. The NPC narrowed his eyes, confused. Something about this guy didn't match the results he'd seen. Still smiling, Hyunwoo asked for his reward. The NPC assumed he bought items to finish quickly, but suddenly, the NPC realized all his goblin hides were missing, and Hyunwoo had taken every one. Hyunwoo looked back, surprised by the sudden praise, only to hear an unexpected favor was requested. The NPC revealed a hidden quest, asking for a rare grass that only a few goblins carried. Confused, Hyunwoo explained he had purchased 30 hides since nobody sold just 10 at a time. He clarified he intended to use 10, but the system forcefully took all 30 without warning. Frustrated, Hyunwoo argued the guild failed to explain properly, demanding compensation for his lost goblin hides. The NPC broke into a nervous sweat, realizing the conversation was heading toward a serious complaint. Hyunwoo's sharp eyes locked onto him, waiting for a proper explanation that still hadn't come. The NPC finally spoke, claiming it was Hyunwoo's own fault no reimbursement could be offered now. He cited the service terms, stating that failing to follow quest instructions removed any support or liability. Hyunwoo pressed harder, but the NPC remained firm they wouldn't refund his money or offer additional help. Hyunwoo confirmed the situation, he was stuck with the quest, and the guild wouldn't take responsibility. Frustrated, he whined loudly, blaming the waste of materials and missed support for making things harder. Despite complaining, he smirked. Everything had unfolded exactly as planned, each step bringing him closer to the goal. He clenched his fist, energy rising. With confidence blazing, he shouted that nothing could stop him now. Moments later, reality struck. Exhausted and drained, he collapsed to one knee from pushing himself too hard. Hyunwoo returned triumphantly. The old man, amazed, handed over the final item from Goblin's Grudge. He received the glowing potion, an elixir of overwhelming rejuvenation, the key item for the legendary quest. Tears streamed down his face. After all the trouble, he finally held the item he needed. Without hesitation, he sprinted out, determined to use the elixir and unlock the next legendary stage. Back at the tree, the puppy-stirred Hyunwoo had returned, and the real quest could begin. Hyunwoo trembled with excitement. Holding the potion tightly, his first legendary quest was finally beginning. Desperate, he poured the potion into the wolf's mouth, praying it would trigger something rare. "Come on," he whispered, his heart racing. "Please give me a skill that changes everything." A bright light appeared. A chime echoed. The system announced, "The unnamed wolf now serves you." Another message followed. "You have earned the title, Master of a Mythical Creature." And he smiled triumphantly. Hyunwoo's eyes widened in disbelief. "A mythical creature?" he muttered, unsure if he heard correctly. He collapsed in frustration. Mythical creatures were bound to their masters and couldn't be sold for profit. "This won't change my life at all," he shouted, disappointed by the missed chance for fortune. The little creature barked cheerfully, its fluffy tail wagging with joy, completely ignoring Hyunwoo's despair. Sighing, he held the wolf. "Even if you're weird, I hope your stats are great." A prompt appeared before Hyunwoo. "Give it a name." He blinked, caught off guard by it. The little wolf panted eagerly, staring at him. "I have to give it a name?" Lifting the creature, he studied it quietly, searching for a name that felt simple but right. "Lucky," he declared. Light erupted instantly as the name was accepted by the system without hesitation. Hyunwoo flinched from the glow. A message followed. New fate granted. His heart pounded. This is... Hyunwoo's heart pounded uncontrollably. A warning appeared he was being logged out for safety reasons. Hyunwoo walked quietly through the hallway, eyes down, ignoring the voice that suddenly called his name. He didn't stop. Even as his old acquaintance waved, Hyunwoo's steps remained steady and unbroken. "He's been down since losing his old magician character," one friend whispered, watching Hyunwoo pass silently. "I didn't know," the other replied, concerned. "He invested everything into that one character in life." Hyunwoo paused. A faint grin spread across his face. "A Fenrir," he murmured, eyes lighting up. Hyunwoo clenched his fists. He couldn't doubt himself. He knew exactly what that little dog was. That puppy he'd seen. It was no ordinary creature. It was a Fenrir, undeniably, unmistakably. The Fenrir, a blue spectral beast, was God War's most powerful mythic summon in close-range combat. He had become a grand warlock, bonded with a Fenrir, an unmatched duo. This was his chance. The phone rang. Smiling, Hyunwoo answered cheerfully. "Hey, uncle! I'll grab you chicken on the way!" Hyunwoo jolted awake, his eyes wide in shock. A scream echoed, dragging him from thought. His heart dropped. A chilling realization dawned something was wrong, and that something was happening to his uncle. Outside Samrin University Hospital, the sky glowed orange as urgency settled in Hyunwoo's chest like stone. Inside the ICU, a small girl stared at the unmoving figure. "Uncle," she whispered, afraid. "Hyunwoo! Uncle collapsed! What's going on?" the girl cried, while a nurse approached with concern in her voice. The doctor explained calmly Hyunwoo's uncle had suffered a sharp blood pressure drop from heart failure. "Fortunately," the doctor reassured, "he's not in immediate danger, but recovery requires consistent care and monitoring. He's fitted with a ventricular assist device. You know that means no missed treatments, right?" she asked. Hyunwoo hesitated, eyes down. No," he muttered, guilt tightening his chest as silence settled around him. Later that night, the hospital stood quiet. Hyunwoo sat alone, weighed by guilt and uncertainty. Hyunwoo gently comforted the little girl, silently realizing how much responsibility now rested on him. He muttered to himself, money again. No matter what, every problem circled back to money. Clenching his fist, Hyunwoo made up his mind. He had a Fenrir, there was no hesitation. "I'll sell all useful information, gather every item with value, and level up fast," he decided. Logging into God Wars again, Hyunwoo appeared in the beginner's hunting area, ready to grind hard. A nearby adventurer pointed excitedly. "Hey, look at that!" he said. "So adorable," another one added. The adventurers admired the creature. Hyunwoo smirked silently. It wasn't just a cute pet. It was mythical. Hyunwoo watched as Fenrir barked playfully. "Guess he does look like a puppy," he admitted quietly. Completing Lucky's special quest granted Hyunwoo two major benefits, one being full independence from any party support. If I gain a few more levels, Hyunwoo thought, I can leave town and earn more. The second reward was revealed, a powerful item blessed by the dragon-like Grand Warlock deity itself. This sacred skill card was a legendary drop, rarely seen, and tied to divine game lore. Hyunwoo sighed. "Here we go again," he muttered, triggering the random card selection screen cautiously. A vortex of cards surged around him, glowing blue, creating an overwhelming storm of magical energy. Hyunwoo stared at the rarest card glowing faintly in the mix. Didn't think it'd appear. Hyunwoo's breath caught as he reached toward the glowing card, heart pounding from rising anticipation. A blinding flash struck the selected card. He'd drawn a rare unique rank skill, Psychokinesis. Psychokinesis, Hyunwoo read aloud. It enabled remote control of objects powerful for both offense and battlefield manipulation. Though usually exclusive to psychics, Grand Warlocks could master any magical skill, making this card viable. As the skill embedded into him, Hyunwoo smiled. "That's an easy decision to make," he said. Standing confidently beside Fenrir, Hyunwoo nodded. "Things are going well from the start," he said proudly. He dashed forward with Fenrir at his side. "Well, time to go hunting again," he muttered. They entered Goblin Forest, a low-level zone crawling with aggressive creatures ready to attack intruders immediately. Deeper in the forest, a group of goblins grunted and gathered, sharpening their crude weapons together. One goblin perked up, ears twitching at the sound of rustling leaves coming from the shadows. Fenrir lunged forward without warning, biting into the goblin's shoulder with sharp fangs and unrelenting force. Caught off guard, the goblin spun wildly, trying to shake Fenrir off but failing to dislodge him. With a swift twist, Fenrir tore through the goblin's side. The others froze in shocked horror. One goblin roared furiously, rallying the group, eyes blazing with rage as he charged toward Fenrir. But Fenrir was faster. With perfect timing, he slammed the attacker into the ground with brutal force. With a fierce shout, Hyunwoo raised his hand, fire swirling. "Fireball!" he yelled without hesitation. The blazing spell launched forward, engulfing a goblin in flames as others stumbled back in panic. Hyunwoo dashed through the chaos, weaving between fire and shadows, his momentum never slowing for anything. He grinned with adrenaline, pumping. This was the power of a grand warlock, and it felt unstoppable. Fenrir barked proudly, watching his master with eager eyes, ready to leap into battle once more. "Goblins are too easy now, huh, Lucky?" Hyunwoo said, walking casually past fallen enemies. He chuckled, remembering past days. "They called me the greatest pitcher in the town of Initiation." Hyunwoo scanned the woods thoughtfully. "Monster hunting's easier than I thought. Maybe I should move deeper." He smiled at Fenrir. "That's right, my lucky charm. Can you deuce it or shake?" High above in the trees, shadows moved silently. Hidden eyes watched the warlock and his wolf. A crow flew overhead, its wings stirring unnatural energy. Hyunwoo and Fenrir stopped, sensing danger nearby. Suddenly dark clouds swirled above them. Hyunwoo's eyes narrowed as the sky turned an ominous crimson shade. His breath caught. "That's—" he gasped. Fenrir growled. A raid notification blinked. It was a boss monster. Champion Goblin would appear in under an hour. Hyunwoo now faced his biggest challenge so far. The boss monster appeared unexpectedly, disrupting the game's balance and threatening every nearby player's progress completely. The assault team advanced bravely, clashing with the boss's summoned minions in a chaotic, high-stakes battle. Despite their strength, the team was overwhelmed and wiped out, their gear and loot scattered across the floor. Meanwhile, a low-level streamer discovered the aftermath, stunned by the opportunity to loot everything without opposition. As his viewer count exploded, Hyunwoo smiled quietly and entered the boss chamber, ready for his moment. Hyunwoo planned to post the raid request and use the reward money for a warm meal. But just before confirming the post, a sudden thought made his finger hesitate mid-click. He wondered quietly if he could defeat the powerful monster alone, without alerting anyone nearby. With no witnesses around, the risk seemed low, and the chance for all the loot was tempting. After all, he'd already cleared the smaller enemies. Only the boss remained deep within the shadows. Hyunwoo stood silently before the bulletin board, still unsure if he should post the raid request. Looking at his small companion, he whispered, "Don't I deserve to take a chance myself?" His thoughts drifted to the countless times he chose the safe path and sacrificed his chances. Hyunwoo clenched his fist, realizing he'd always helped others succeed while never gambling on his own future. With resolve in his voice and eyes steady, he declared, "Okay, I'm going to give it everything." Hyunwoo reviewed past raid videos, analyzing monster behaviors, patterns, and stats until everything became clear and organized. "I've never tried this solo before," he said, locking eyes with Lucky, who barked in support. The boss's timer showed 55 hours, enough time to plan, prepare, and attempt the fight alone. With steady breath and quiet confidence, he stepped forward, declaring boldly, "We're going to take this down together." Standing before the boss's lair, heart pounding, he drew his weapon and prepared for the challenge ahead. Hyunwoo opened his inventory one last time, exhaled deeply, and made sure everything was fully prepared. The countdown hit 0. The red sky pulsed. He turned toward the cave, ready for the signal. A sudden gust of energy burst out from the lair's entrance, thick, heavy, filled with danger. Sensing the threat closing in, he drew his weapon sharply and told Lucky, "Get behind me." The ground trembled violently. A massive blue foot stomped forward, announcing the boss's arrival with crushing force. Glowing red eyes emerged from the shadows filled with rage and locked onto the lone intruder's presence. The warrior stood his ground, eyes sharp, heart steady, watching the beast prepare for a savage charge. With a thunderous growl, the monstrous boss sprinted forward, claws extended and fangs bared, aiming to kill. The warrior waited for the perfect moment, then dodged left and countered with a precise upward slash. The boss was flung back midair, crashing violently into the stone wall from the sudden strike. The beast stirred, its clawed feet dragging through the rubble as it prepared to charge again. Stepping forward recklessly, the creature triggered hidden cracks below, sending itself plunging into a pitfall trap. The warrior's eyes lit up with realization his plan had worked. It fell for it! Without hesitation, he hurled a potion downward, the bottle spinning swiftly through the air. The potion shattered on impact, coating the creature's face with a blinding, explosive concoction mid-roar. The oily potion dripped from the stunned monster's mask as it struggled to regain its vision. Without pause, the warrior summoned his power, arms ablaze as he chanted the fire spell's name. Hyunwoo launched a massive fireball straight at the target, its heat warping the air between them. The monster shrieked as flames engulfed it, an attack that would normally require a full raid group. This boss was infamous. New players feared it, and veterans used entire teams just to survive. He remembered the boss's pattern weakness. If disabled early, the fight could be controlled from start. Dodging another strike, he circled around and launched an explosive strike straight into its exposed side. The flames erupted violently, engulfing the boss and driving it into a pained, disoriented frenzy. But the beast recovered quickly, claws scraping the ground as it lunged toward the distracted summoner. Before it reached him, Lucky darted forward, sank his teeth into its arm, and held on. Hyunwoo praised Lucky for the assist, watching the goblin stumble back from the unexpected dog bite. The beast lost balance and rolled backward, growling as its health bar dipped near the danger threshold. Its hand clawed the dirt, dragging itself upright, refusing to fall before a single-player ambush strategy. The warrior noticed its movement shift. "Its attack pattern is changing!" he shouted, bracing for a new form. With a roar, the goblin leapt through the air, aiming straight at the warrior with fierce intent. The goblin dove in a straight line, jaws wide, determined to end the fight instantly. It crashed violently into the ground, missing its mark and raising a cloud of heavy smoke. As the dust cleared, Lucky reappeared mid-air, biting hard into the monster's shoulder with a snarl. The boss stammered, shocked by the dog's relentless bite, its strength faltering in the moment. The warrior advanced slowly, fire spell in hand, preparing to unleash one final decisive strike. With one last word, fireball, he launched the finishing spell, lighting the sky with a fiery column. The system confirmed his victory. He earned the coveted title Champion Goblin Slayer with flashing blue text. Overjoyed, he raised a fist and shouted, "We did it!" as Lucky barked excitedly beside him. Looking down at the smoldering remains, he admitted the goblin was stronger than expected, but beatable solo. Hyunwoo smiled, thinking how much better it would have been streamed full of hype and generous donations. As rewards filled his screen, he imagined how different things could have been with a live stream. Notifications kept coming, one even from War Dragon offering a new quest triggered by his recent victory. Hyunwoo felt overwhelmed but determined, saying, "Guess I'll start with the card selection and plan forward." Before he could continue, Lucky barked urgently, staring toward the trees where a red beam appeared. Alarmed by Lucky's reaction, he turned quickly, sensing that another dangerous event had just begun nearby. Hyunwoo stared at the mask, realizing its rare drop could be worth a small fortune online. Checking the market, he gasped. Champion Goblin's mask, 10 million won, displayed on his screen in bold red. In the break room, he whispered, A whopping 10 million? Stunned by the unbelievable potential payout. But reality hit. Hospital bills and living costs weighed on him. Survival outweighed personal desire for gear. If only I had some spare money, he thought, fingers tightening around the phone in silence. His phone rang again, this time from the insurance company, causing a pause in his heavy thoughts. Electric shock accident claim, he repeated aloud, stunned as he realized they might finally acknowledge his trauma. A nervous jolt shot through him, memories rushing back as he instinctively stepped away in discomfort. Hyunwoo struggled to respond, then asked softly, "Could we talk some other time?" Voice trembling slightly. Feigning calm, he added cheerfully, "I'd probably cry if I spoke about it now," then laughed. Hyunwoo placed his card down slowly. "Can you loan me 300,000 won in advance?" The cashier glanced at him, puzzled. "You're loading a lot of cash today. Good deal?" "No, but," Hyunwoo mumbled, overwhelmed by stress. Sleepless nights and anxiety had taken their toll again. He trembled often, dizzy and afraid. Are these symptoms of PTSD or just plain burnout? He wondered. Moments later, he grinned wide. "Yes!" he cheered, faking confidence. "Have a nice day!" Click. Hyunwoo sat in the capsule nervously. He knew this might be his last real chance. He had lost a month's worth of effort, every character deleted, every item gone forever. Still, he pressed forward. "Logging into God Wars," he muttered, gripping the handles tightly. He landed inside Goblin Forest, hearing screeches and rustling leaves. Danger was already close and coming fast. A goblin leaped at him with a blade only to be blasted away by fire instantly. Explosions burst through the goblin ranks. Hyunwoo's fire magic struck hard, causing chaos and forcing retreat. From a higher ledge, he observed their panic. The goblins screeched, reorganizing quickly behind wooden shields. Hyunwoo smirked, noticing their tactics. "So they know how to use shields. Interesting," he muttered calmly. Electric energy surged into his blade. "Then try blocking this," he shouted, channeling power through his hands. "Ice arrow!" he roared, launching a glowing spear of frost directly toward the shielded formation below. The ice arrow pierced through shields, impaling the goblins behind with unrelenting force and freezing impact. Hyunwoo exhaled. "That felt more like a bullet than an arrow," he said, watching them stagger. "A perfect counter to shielded enemies," he added, eyes sharp. "No, you don't know escaping me!" A goblin tried to flee, but Hyunwoo leapt from the cliff, blade glowing with blue energy. The goblin raised its weapon in panic, but Hyunwoo's momentum closed the distance in seconds. A white fox bit down on the goblin's arm, stopping its attack mid-swing in time. Hyunwoo laughed. "Good job, Lucky," he called. The fox yipped in reply, circling back confidently. "Excellent! On to the next hunting ground," he declared, dashing forward as Lucky howled in sync. A goblin dropped dead. On its body, a glowing loot drop marked Rare Goblin Set. "Wiping them out gave me basic gear," Hyunwoo noted. "Strength, mana. Not bad for starters." Hyunwoo examined his gear. "No set bonus. It's not a unique item like the champions." He sighed, arms crossed. "Guess unique gear only drops from bosses. That won't be easy." Sitting beside Lucky, he muttered, "Wish I had another unique item." Lucky gave a hopeful bark. Suddenly, Hyunwoo heard rapid footsteps. He stood quickly, sensing someone running in panic from the distance. A young man burst through the trees, shouting, "Somebody! Please help me!" He looked absolutely terrified. A towering enemy raised its weapon, striking the screaming monk player with brutal force from behind. The monk collapsed, bones cracking audibly. His body hit the dirt hard, HP dropping instantly to red. A blinking health bar hovered above him. One more hit and he'd be completely finished. Nearby, players emerged, laughing. "Hey, Chenba, you see that? I dropped him in one hit." "He went down too fast," another scoffed. "Monks are weak, can't compete with real warrior builds." The monk gritted his teeth as someone yanked him up by the collar, leaving him speechless. "You jerks!" he snapped, trembling. "You'll never get away with this. I'll tell my guild." Before he could finish, a cruel laugh broke out. His threats were met with mockery. One attacker smirked. I don't care. This isn't even my main account, he said without guilt. And your guild can't reach here anyway, another added. Level restrictions make this our playground. A player slapped the monk harshly. Anyway, what's with your attitude? He sneered without hesitation. Can't handle it? Log out then, he mocked. We'll still be here when you return. Watching from afar, Hyunwoo frowned. They're called newbie slayers, he muttered, his voice low with frustration. They stay at level 12, just to torment beginners, wasting time hurting weaker players, he reflected. I'd love to fight them, but not now, Hyunwoo sighed. Lucky, let's, huh? He paused suddenly. Hyunwoo noticed Lucky growling, ears twitching. The little companion had sensed something unusual from above. He narrowed his eyes. Something clicked. Wait. If we beat a champion goblin together back then these punks aren't stronger, Hyunwoo muttered. Not if we fight smart, just like before. One of the bullies stretched, unaware. Are they stronger than a champion goblin? He asked smugly. Meanwhile, the peaceful starter town bustled under a clear sky, unaware of what was about to unfold. The silver-haired player smirked arrogantly. Look at all those noobs, he said with disgust and delight. His massive ally stepped forward, gripping a spiked mace. Now then, he said with cruel anticipation. Guess I'll start with the closest, he roared, weapon raised, charging directly toward a young player. The mace swung down with terrifying speed, but just before impact, red flames ignited near the target. A hand emerged from the shadows coated in fire. Someone had activated a spell, Blaze. The giant warrior's grin faded as a fiery projectile flew toward him with explosive speed. A direct hit. Blast! Flames engulfed his armor, and the impact sent him stumbling back hard. Yikes! The nearby girl yelped, ducking behind cover. The silver-haired bully shouted, Chenba! Panic spread. Who was that? Which one of you did it? He yelled as players scattered. Hyunwoo stepped forward calmly. He's weaker than I thought. All right, he declared. Today's stream is revenge-themed. Hyunwoo stepped through the flames. Hello, everyone, it's Grand Warlock Streamer, he declared with confidence. One thug sneered. Tisk! He's one of those streamer jerks! Don't cover your face, moron! Hyunwoo smiled slyly. I do. Because guys like you make the best live stream content. Before they could react, he released a bright spell blasting one of them clean in the face. As the blast passed, the others flinched. Hyunwoo was already dashing forward with deadly precision and speed. One thug stared wide-eyed. Wait, he used fireball earlier, now ice arrow? That's not possible. He panicked. Only a Grand Warlock can wield multiple elements at the same time. Does that mean he's a rich player on a second account? The thug whispered, horrified. Hyunwoo spotted the coward fleeing. Look, one of them is running. Guess he's smarter than the others. As the player sprinted away, Lucky intercepted with a leap, sinking his teeth into the man's neck. The defeated thug tumbled backward, landing hard. Lucky landed beside him with a low growl. Hyunwoo approached steadily, each step deliberate. The thug struggled to breathe, beaten and exhausted. He looked up, voice shaky. Grand Warlock, streamer, right? He recognized the name now. Too late. I'm going to remember your ID, he muttered bitterly, glaring through clenched teeth and bruises. Hyunwoo smirked, blade glowing. Sure, go ahead, he replied coolly. Let's make it unforgettable. A sudden flash erupted from the sky. Shaking the forest, something powerful had just arrived nearby. A system alert informed him the defeated enemies had low karma killers punished by divine code. Because of their misconduct, a bonus looting privilege activated, allowing him to access rare hidden gear. Grinning proudly, Hyunwoo declared slaying villains was justice, eliminating threats while gathering the spoils of war. Hyunwoo once complained about the looting randomness frustrated when items vanished, despite countless victories and efforts. But now, empowered with mystical sight, he knew precisely which rewards to claim from fallen foes. Hyunwoo spotted rare champion goblin armor leather pieces with powerful effects when combined into a full set. Understanding their synergy bonus, he didn't hesitate tapping both gear cards confidently before whispering the command. Fiery energy surged as the new armor fused onto his body, triggering a transformation through magical flames. A system message confirmed the bonus effects: stat boosts and increased damage specifically against goblin-type enemies. Reviewing his status window, he noted his intelligence skyrocketed thanks to strategic leveling choices made in another account. Hyunwoo proudly showed off his character sheet, aware others might question its unusual build and stats. Suddenly, a loud howl erupted behind him. His pet Lucky leaped forward, startling him mid-demonstration. Chuckling nervously, he turned to the creature and scolded it gently for the unexpected interruption. As Lucky howled again, a glowing message appeared, signaling a divine gift had blessed the companion. The system prompted him to choose a new ability Lucky was evolving with power from an unknown source. He froze, eyes widening as something unusual appeared, new options that only mythical creatures could normally access. In disbelief, he noticed skill cards specifically marked for mythical beings, something unheard of in previous updates. One card shined with a strange color, unlike the others, glowing brightly as he raised his hand. He tapped it instantly. A message flashed across the screen. It was a legendary ranked ability card. Just as he processed the shock, Lucky's ears twitched. The creature had sensed something even more surprising. Lucky sniffed the air with purpose, his body glowing as the system confirmed a newly gained legendary skill. Reading the skill's description, he paused. Treasure Hunter gave mythical pets the ability to locate hidden objects. He sat down, curious if treasures meant items, wondering what this ability could uncover in real gameplay. Suddenly, he remembered a name someone famous in the game, known for absurd luck and rare findings. Raffo, the Flame Lion Guild leader, and his pet Good Boy, renowned for treasure detection mastery. Raffo's streaming fame came from shocking dungeon finds, viewers amazed by his uncanny luck and rare items. Many doubted him, suspecting his content was staged due to the frequency of outrageous hidden discoveries. But what if his unbelievable streak wasn't luck at all, but purely the result of a skill? Determined to test the theory, he sprinted forward with Lucky, eager to try the new power. "Let's see what you've got!" he shouted, as Lucky barked and raced into the forest ahead. Lucky sprinted through the forest trail, weaving between trees, his nose guiding them to hidden resources. Rare items appeared in glowing flashes, herbs and mushrooms, each more valuable than anything found in usual zones. He gasped at the discoveries. Even some of these ingredients were only known through rare rumors. Overjoyed, he shouted praise to Lucky, realizing the pet's new skill exceeded all of his expectations. Skidding to a stop, he followed Lucky to the next spot, eager for what came next. Lucky slowed near a thicket, tapping the ground. Something unusual was just ahead, hidden in shadows. He followed quickly, eyes locked on the pet's focus, then spotted an eerie crevice beneath the tree. A message appeared. Secret lair of the Goblin Shaman, hidden. A rare, concealed dungeon just uncovered. Shocked, he exclaimed aloud, the legendary kind of dungeon he'd only heard about in rumors and streams. Heart pounding, he crouched with Lucky beside him. This was real, and it was completely undiscovered. The dungeon details appeared restricted to level 12 or lower, with a rare reward and hidden history. His eyes widened. No one had reported finding it before. He was the first confirmed discoverer. He calculated fast-selling dungeon info could easily cover living expenses for at least 2 full months. But as he hesitated, the ground shook. A sudden impact from above forced him into action. Lucky tilted his head in confusion as his master suddenly stood with a decisive new thought. He clenched his fist. Frustrated, selling secrets meant losing the thrill that made gaming worthwhile to him. Determined, he stepped forward with Lucky, deciding he'd conquer the dungeon instead of selling its location. Dark vines creaked as they entered, the eerie sounds echoing through narrow, twisting, unfamiliar dungeon tunnels. Inside, multiple enemies skittered across the stone floor, goblin shamans and minions already patrolling the ancient chamber. At the deepest point, a sinister figure stirred its horned skull mask, glowing with cursed purple energy. At the center throne, the goblin shaman revealed itself level 16 and radiating ominous magical energy. The goblin guards snarled as they took formation, protecting their leader from the intruder's sudden arrival. From the shadows, glowing eyes appeared. He and Lucky stayed hidden, waiting for the perfect opening. Without hesitation, he launched into action, dashing forward with speed honed from endless battles and practice. Lucky struck first, biting down on a goblin's arm and sending it stumbling with a howl. The goblin guards noticed the intrusion too late. Their eyes widened as chaos burst through the entrance. They scrambled to defend their leader, snarling and rushing forward to intercept the unexpected player and pet. Without hesitation, he cast a fire spell. Flames condensed into a blazing orb of concentrated magical heat. The fireball detonated mid-air, sending goblins flying backward, burned and disoriented from the sudden explosive attack. Even the goblin shaman flinched from his throne, clearly surprised by the intruder's strength and precision. He stomped forward with confidence, surrounded by goblins now alerted to his bold and direct entry. Activating his stream, he announced his location: a hidden dungeon beneath the town of Initiation, unknown to most. Facing the camera, he grinned. "Watch closely. I'll show how to defeat the goblin shaman." Hyunwoo charged forward, shouting boldly as Lucky sprinted beside him, determined to face the looming threat. Goblin warriors snarled and lunged, but Lucky struck first, sharp teeth, tearing through with ruthless precision and speed. Hyunwoo narrowed his eyes. Assessing calmly, he knew the goblin shaman's weak point wasn't in its power. The real danger lay in the shaman's dark magic, cast safely behind its chaotic and loyal minions. Leaping into action, Hyunwoo timed his strike perfectly, ready to end it before another deadly spell launched. With precise aim, Hyunwoo stabbed through the goblin shaman, ending its chant before the spell unleashed devastation. The system confirmed the victory. He'd earned experience, loot, and another critical step towards streamer fame. Hyunwoo smirked as he admired the rising viewer count, proud of his perfectly executed takedown. Without wasting time, he launched himself forward again. New enemies had already started closing in from above. He swung his staff hard, launching a blazing fireball that exploded on impact, incinerating everything it touched. The goblin shaman's health dipped to critical levels, but it still clung to life, barely standing. Its scorched skin sizzled with rage as it glared at Hyunwoo, preparing another dangerous counterattack instantly. Frustrated, Hyunwoo clicked his tongue, realizing he could have ended this if he'd used stronger force earlier. The shaman conjured dark magic, forming a glowing orb. Hyunwoo braced himself, eyes locked on the target. Before the spell launched, Lucky bit down on its arm, interrupting it. Hyunwoo shouted, "Good job, Lucky!" Lucky's attack disrupted the shaman's magic, giving Hyunwoo the perfect opening to strike without hesitation. He raised his staff swiftly, conjuring flames as his focus locked onto the stunned goblin shaman. With a loud shout, Hyunwoo unleashed his fireball, hurling it toward the enemy with destructive, focused intent. The spell struck true, engulfing the goblin in a fiery blast that ended its resistance completely. As the body collapsed, the system confirmed his kill. Hyunwoo pumped his fist, proud of himself. Hyunwoo celebrated his victory, raising his arms as Lucky barked excitedly and wagged his tail. A chilling voice echoed through the room, shouting, "Human!" with rage that froze Hyunwoo in place. He turned toward the voice, confused, spotting the shaman's corpse standing again in a red glow. Hyunwoo gasped, realizing too late the shaman's body twitched back to life, dark energy pouring from its chest. With glowing eyes and furious scream, the shaman roared, "I have returned, and now," before lunging forward. The shaman's final words echoed, "The war of the gods shall be upon you." Hyunwoo blinked in confusion as the body crumbled. Was it a boss warning, or just broken code? Trying to stay rational, he dismissed the thought and focused on loot drops flooding his screen. He ignored the system messages for now and checked the ground for any high-value drops. Lifting a unique staff, Hyunwoo grinned wide. "This one's rare. It'll sell for a great price." Hyunwoo admired the staff's power and low requirement. He thought it was perfect for early advantage. Excited, he smiled until the system informed him the item was bound and couldn't be traded. His expression went blank. This wasn't the first time he'd accidentally locked away valuable loot permanently. Frustrated, he screamed at the game. Furious, it robbed him of another great profit opportunity. Just then, a new quest notification popped up, interrupting his rant before it could escalate further. Hyunwoo froze as the screen locked him in. This wasn't a side mission. It was serious. His eyes widened. The words main scenario echoed, unfamiliar and clearly outside the usual quest structure. Unknown to him, the system's true purpose was designed by the VR industry's most powerful and mysterious figure. The developer disappeared after unveiling the project. He left behind encrypted goals hidden within complex immersive environments. Now Hyunwoo had triggered the next phase, an undiscovered game mode known simply as the main scenario. Hyunwoo stared at the glowing message, questioning if he was truly the one chosen for this. He raised his arms in disbelief, shouting aloud he had found the legendary main scenario quest. For years, players searched every corner for it, never knowing it was hidden in plain sight. Ironically, most dismissed the location due to the guild's mismanagement and the town's poor condition. Hyunwoo realized someone else might have reached it first, if only the guild hadn't messed everything up. Hyunwoo clenched his fists with determination. This was a rare chance he couldn't afford to waste. He decided not to post about it online. This quest had to be completed quietly. Patting Lucky's head, he smiled. "Thanks to you, I found something big. Let's do this together." A system prompt reminded him about the unused skill card from War Dragon, something he had forgotten. He quickly shrugged it off, deciding to focus on the main scenario and choose randomly instead. As Hyunwoo picked the card, it glowed intensely, far brighter than any he'd seen before. Confused, he watched the mysterious card appear and spin slowly in the air before revealing its name. The card revealed a legendary skill, Polymorph, allowing transformation into the form of any defeated target. Meanwhile, in the town of Imitation, cloaked figures moved quietly, seemingly preparing for the next phase. Hyunwoo learned the NPC Jung played dual roles quest guide and the key to escaping the town. Hyunwoo approached Jung's house, knowing entry would trigger a private zone, hidden from other players' interference. Confident, he noted that the Adventurers Guild couldn't monitor him once inside this special dungeon instance. The door slammed behind him as the system confirmed he had officially entered Jung's personal space. Lucky barked sharply, sensing a presence approaching. They weren't alone anymore inside this strange, quiet interior. An old man appeared, arms crossed. "Here to leave town and explore the world, are you?" Hyunwoo stayed quiet for a moment, then decided to ask something more important than just traveling. He faced Jung and asked clearly, "Do you know anything about the traces of the lost god?" Jung's eyes widened slightly as a glow began forming, a system trigger responding to Hyunwoo's rare question. A bright flash filled the room as the system acknowledged the keyword, unlocking a hidden interaction instantly. Hyunwoo's eyes lit up with excitement. It had worked. He'd successfully activated a secret quest path. Jung acknowledged the term and began explaining the lost god referred to deities defeated in ancient war. After the war, their power vanished, but remnants of their divine essence were hidden across the world. Just before vanishing, each god reportedly left behind a legacy, traces of strength, wisdom, or secret artifacts. Jung asked if Hyunwoo truly sought the divine traces left behind by the fallen gods. Without hesitation, Hyunwoo nodded. "Yes, I do. Where can I find these traces?" he asked eagerly. The old man pulled out a ring, his voice low. "I've searched for answers forever, but truth escaped me." He extended his hand. "It might be different for you. Take this. Go to the city of war," he said. "Find Shaleen. She'll guide your destiny forward." Grinning wide, Hyunwoo clutched the ring. The main quest had begun and everything was finally real. The elder shared his final advice. With nothing left to say, the young mage nodded silently. The elder asked if he was ready to explore. A choice appeared, glowing in midair. With a shout of excitement, the mage declared his decision. He had waited long for this moment. A brilliant flash enveloped him. Magical runes swirled beneath his feet, teleportation magic activating with fierce intensity. The elder watched him vanish, Arms folded, he whispered a hopeful farewell. I wish you luck. A brilliant beam shot from the sky, striking the city with pinpoint precision and drawing attention. The title Grand Warlock streamer shimmered in magical blue, heralding the next chapter in Hyunwoo's journey. The beam landed squarely in a lively district. Players nearby paused to witness the dramatic entrance event. A crowd gathered, whispering. The game's world truly opened after leaving the town of initiation behind. One player grinned, pointing excitedly. He's out! That Warlock guy finally made it here! Cheers erupted instantly. Vendors shouted from every corner, eager to attract newcomers. One merchant proudly displayed rare and valuable items. Hyunwoo wandered through the marketplace, scanning the colorful displays and lively crowds filling the cobbled city streets. A nearby adventurer looked around in awe. Everything felt new, vibrant, and more real than the tutorial. Hyunwoo stood at the edge of the high wall overlooking the sprawling cityscape with growing excitement. He stepped forward confidently, brushing past a stranger. Excuse me, he muttered. The man barely acknowledged him. As Hyunwoo passed through the crowd, others whispered, guessing he might be a returning experienced player. He walked alone into a dim corridor, his mind focused on specific loot from his memory. His thoughts raced Yuno's ring, a rare item with powerful farming stats and set bonus potential. He wondered if future players from the main storyline could match the power he'd just claimed. Unable to hold back his joy, Hyunwoo grinned wide. This is so sweet, he quietly celebrated. Hyunwoo hushed his companion. Lucky, stay hidden. You don't look like a pet from beginner's zones. He glanced around cautiously. Let's go meet Shalin, he whispered. Lucky barked softly in response, tail wagging. The alley grew quieter as they moved. Broken wires and cracked walls surrounded the narrow path ahead. Soon, they reached a worn building. Hyunwoo paused briefly, then stepped forward and gently pushed the door. A floating notification appeared above the entrance. NPC Shalin's house. Hyunwoo nodded. So, this is the place. Hyunwoo stepped inside cautiously. The creaking door echoed as he entered the quiet, dimly lit room. He paused mid-step, startled. A sudden presence filled the air and he whispered, Who are you? A glow ignited, revealing a mysterious figure. Her voice cut sharp. How did you find this place? Hovering midair, she declared, My house is concealed with magic. Her presence identified her as NPC Shalin. Hyunwoo stayed calm and asked directly, Are you Shalin? A notification confirmed it as she hovered silently. Hyunwoo raised the ring. Yuno gave me this and told me to find you. Shalin's eyes widened at the sight. That ring alone completed the quest in an instant. Hyunwoo celebrated. Yes, now on to the next quest. But her tone suddenly shifted cold. Shalin smirked. Yuno sent a weakling? I don't deal with gold-hunting nobodies, prove your worth. With a shout, she declared, Hunt 10,000 orcs. A notification confirmed a new main scenario quest. Hyunwoo stood frozen in silence, stunned by the magnitude of the quest she had just given. His face contorted in disbelief. You want me to get 10,000 orcs? He shouted aloud. Still reeling, he staggered back. You've got to be kidding. But Shalin simply waited, unimpressed. His body trembled with anxiety. The challenge felt absurd, but her words echoed, challenging his resolve. Finally, he nodded. Fine, I'll do it. He jumped, determination building. Lucky barked as he fell. This is ridiculous, Hyunwoo muttered. Hunting 10,000 orcs could take weeks, maybe even longer to finish. I don't have that much time, he groaned. Suddenly, a notification sound interrupted his rant. A new objective appeared. Hunt orcs and retrieve the fragment of the lost god. 0/1. He blinked. There's nothing here about killing 10,000 orcs. Fragment of the lost god? Deep in the forest, weapons clashed. Somewhere nearby, someone or something was already fighting the orcs fiercely. A massive orc roared, clashing weapons with a tank. The force shook the battlefield with violence. Hold steady, the leader commanded. Tank keeps the aggro. Everyone else hit the orc while it's distracted. Hyunwoo crept along the ridge, watching the team below battle fiercely against the brutal green creatures. he observed carefully. The quest's true goal. It's not about killing, it's about collecting a rare item. The drop seemed extremely rare. She told me to hunt 10,000. Maybe the rate is 0.01%. Hyunwoo smirked. I can see all hidden data. The fragment is inside that orc. The quest tracker confirmed it. Just one orc carries the fragment. I only need that one. His expression darkened. The problem is, that party is already fighting the orc I need most. Hyunwoo hesitated. I know this is a game, but stealing kills feels wrong. What do you think, Lucky? Before he could decide, one fighter suddenly flickered oddly. A teammate yelled, Huh? Hey, what's happening? A teammate panicked. He forgot to log out earlier. Another yelled, He's being forced offline now. The orc growled and charged toward the now vulnerable team. The missing tank left them wide open. Move, you idiot! Someone screamed. But it was too late. The orc smashed the front line with fury. From a distance, Hyunwoo grinned. Looks like everything might actually go in my favor this time. As the battle turned, he prepared to act. Yeren! Someone shouted, but Hyunwoo was already moving. The team scrambled. All our cooldowns are spent, one shouted as the orc charged toward them. Panic rose fast. It's coming, another cried, watching the massive creature stomp forward with brutal force. The orc roared and raised its weapon. The closest fighter screamed, unable to react in time. A crushing blow landed. Dust and flames burst from the impact, leaving silence in its wake. Hyunwoo approached from above, observing. Hello, warriors. That's a rough situation down there, he muttered, stepping forward. Hyunwoo stood boldly at the cliff's edge. I found a party who's in trouble. Below, the injured fighter looked up, wide-eyed. What should we do? A live streamer? She cupped her hands, shouting desperately toward him. Help us! Hyunwoo grinned confidently. You all heard them ask for help, right? He said, preparing to move. I guess. With a deep breath, he leapt from the cliff, cloak fluttering behind him. Hyunwoo shouted, That's our cue, Lucky! With his staff ready, he leapt straight into the battle. Hyunwoo reached for his magic staff, a surge of power igniting in his determined grip. He dashed forward, blue energy spiraling around him as his spell gathered momentum with every step. A massive green orc noticed his approach, snarling and baring its sharp teeth in challenge. Hyunwoo's cat familiar shot ahead with supernatural speed, leaving a trail of light across the battlefield. The cat leapt high, sinking its teeth into the orc's neck, disrupting its concentration instantly. Blood spurted violently from the orc's neck, staining the air red as the cat clung tight. The orc screamed in pain, swiping at the cat while trying to throw off the sudden attacker. It raised its axe in rage, aiming a vicious swing at the small but relentless black cat. Before the axe landed, a massive fireball struck the orc's chest, exploding into a fiery blast. From a distance, Hyunwoo stood calmly, magic still sparking around him as the orc staggered toward him. The health bar dropped significantly, confirming Hyunwoo's attack had dealt serious damage to the wounded orc. He smiled proudly, realizing his strength had grown faster than expected just after leaving the starter town. Hyunwoo wondered aloud if paying money really gave players such a big advantage in early progression. An orc stomped forward in fury, shaking the ground as Hyunwoo faced it head-on with resolve. He stood still, calm and focused, eyes locked onto the approaching orc's massive blade slicing through air. Hyunwoo jumped backward, narrowly avoiding the orc's heavy swing as its axe crashed into the ground. Mid-air, he prepared his next move, mana surging around his fingers as icy shards began forming. He remembered the truth: he had no money, no advantages, and no stroke of dumb luck. Still, he endured countless hardships in this brutal game world, fighting to survive for 5 long years. Now, unleashing his skill, Hyunwoo fired ice arrows with precise aim, each projectile cutting through the air. The ice arrows hit their mark, exploding on contact and freezing parts of the orc's shoulder. Without hesitation, Hyunwoo conjured flames, his hand glowing red as fire surged through his focused spell. He hurled the fireball directly at the target, shouting the spell's name as it flew forward. The explosion erupted with force, shaking the battlefield as the orc staggered, surrounded by thick smoke. Its chest burned and cracked, the orc groaned in pain, unable to withstand Hyunwoo's combined magic assault. A notification appeared Hyunwoo had defeated the orc. The battle was over, and silence followed. One player arrived late, panting and apologizing, realizing the fight ended before he could even help. He stared at the scene, confused, wondering how everything ended without his team needing him. Other players looked around in awe, whispering questions, unsure how Hyunwoo finished it all alone. Beneath the bright sky, peace returned to the forest. Hyunwoo stood calm, the fight already behind him. The party thanked Hyunwoo for saving them, unaware of his plan forming behind his calm smile. He turned away, quietly thinking about how to justify claiming loot he technically didn't qualify for. In most games, the player who strikes the monster first gets first pick of the loot. That meant he had no loot rights, but a clever story could change everything in his favor. He pretended to be live streaming, smiling and thanking viewers for support, impressing the group into silence. The armored man was surprised, questioning Hyunwoo's right to the orc's dropped items and rewards. Hyunwoo glanced away, knowing the loot belonged to the group who first engaged the monster in combat. Despite helping, he admitted the loot wasn't rightfully his, and the group deserved to claim it. But the man unexpectedly insisted, saying Hyunwoo should keep it for saving them from certain defeat. The group agreed without Hyunwoo's help, they would have lost. Their gratitude overruled the rules of loot ownership. Hyunwoo grinned slyly, sensing the moment had gone exactly the way he hoped it would. He gave a cheerful thumbs up, gladly accepting their offer with exaggerated excitement and sparkling enthusiasm. Turning to his audience, Hyunwoo praised the party's generosity while keeping his streaming act fully alive. He approached the smoldering loot pile, eager to examine what rewards the fallen orc had dropped. Hyunwoo planned a giveaway if a rare item appeared, narrating every move to imaginary viewers. A system alert appeared. 3 new items were automatically added to Hyunwoo's inventory after looting. He opened the inventory, revealing common drops: a claw, a tusk, and a piece of meat. Hyunwoo forced a smile, disappointed by the useless loot. The promised giveaway would have to wait. He quietly sighed in relief, glad they offered the loot or things might have turned awkward fast. Suddenly, someone called out and asked for his livestream channel name, catching him completely off guard. The girl smiled warmly, saying she'd follow his channel since he helped them during the battle. She even promised to tell her friends, leaving Hyunwoo momentarily stunned by the unexpected social boost. He awkwardly accepted and decided to name his fictional channel Grand Warlock Streamer, with forced confidence. Elsewhere, someone dropped a glowing purple fragment, shocking their companion with how quickly it had been acquired. A girl teased Hyunwoo about his luck, and he laughed nervously, pretending it was all chance. The girl accepted his explanation, lightly shrugging as she admitted that sometimes luck really did matter. Hyunwoo completed the quest successfully, standing tall as the system displayed his progress on the screen. He leveled up instantly, followed by a bonus notification awarding him a special skill card reward. Without hesitation, Hyunwoo agreed to open the card, his gaze locked on the glowing selection grid. His eyes narrowed as one card began to shine red, standing out among the others ominously. The revealed card was Long Toss, a unique skill that boosted damage from long-range magical attacks. Hyunwoo's eyes lit up. This rare skill would be incredibly useful when facing massive enemies from distance. Grinning, he retrieved the card, knowing it gave him a real advantage against future large monsters. The girl tilted her head curiously, wondering aloud about the mysterious fragment Hyunwoo had recently obtained. Holding the fragment, she questioned him seriously why was Trace of the Lost God so difficult to find. The girl explained that a barrier, placed by followers, protected the hidden altar's exact location. Only those recognized as believers could pass through, making the area nearly impossible to access normally. Hyunwoo asked if pretending to be a follower could work to bypass the divine security. She confirmed his guess, handing him a ring crafted from the rare fragment he had found. As he stared at the ring, Hyunwoo wondered what secrets the lost god's altar might hold. Hyunwoo asked for confirmation, ready to accept the challenge regardless of the risks involved ahead. She warned him seriously the mission would be dangerous and not meant for the faint-hearted or careless. With unwavering confidence, Hyun-woo declared he feared no danger and was ready for whatever lay ahead. A notification popped up, confirming a new update had been added to the main quest scenario. The new quest, Secret Altar, promised a legendary reward if Hyun-woo could uncover its hidden secrets. Hyun-woo froze as he read the quest reward, his eyes wide with shock and sudden excitement. Realizing it offered a legendary skill card, he repeated the words aloud, still stunned by the reward. Hyun-woo stared in awe. A shimmering card appeared before him labeled Legendary Skill. His pulse quickened. He muttered, "This quest must be brutal. A skill that rare? He'd never seen one rewarded." Marching through the marketplace, Hyun-woo grinned. "With Lucky, I'll find the altar fast." But doubts crept in. Lucky whimpered, tail down. The quest's vague instruction, uncover its secrets, gnawed at Hyun-woo's confidence and curiosity. Suddenly, Lucky barked. A glow enveloped him. Hyun-woo blinked. His dependable partner had revealed something powerful again. Hyun-woo chuckled nervously, unsure if Lucky's bark meant excitement or something far more troublesome ahead. "Lucky, the desert alone?" Hyun-woo blinked. His partner darted toward the forest's edge, tail rigid with urgency. The screen flickered Grand Warlock streamer. A new chapter began, filled with shadows and deep unknowns. Thick trees loomed under moonlight. The pool forest whispered danger. Hyun-woo tightened his grip on Lucky's leash. Mist curled at his feet. A shape emerged, hidden stairs. "Is this the entrance to the altar?" Hyun-woo knelt, stunned. A glowing label, Secret Altar, hidden, flickered right beneath Lucky's curious paw. He scoffed. "Seriously?" Luck and his rare skill had exposed something most players would never discover. "Let's check it out," he muttered, stepping toward the altar as glowing glyphs swirled around him. The altar description appeared: foul stench, unknown god, and a boss. The decaying orc. Reward, a legendary rune. Hyun-woo imagined the orc's grotesque form. "It's level locked," he whispered. "Good thing I'm still under 20. Hyun-woo paused, deep in thought. Lucky panted beside him, sensing hesitation in his master's stance. Suddenly, Hyun-woo snapped his fingers. "That's it, Lucky!" The husky barked, ears up, tail wagging quickly. Grinning wide, Hyun-woo declared, "Let's hunt something else!" His confidence returned with a loud, energetic step. Lucky froze, confused by the sudden shift. His eyes widened. "Oh, woo!" he let out uncertainly. Hyun-woo turned, arms raised. "I'm only level 11. I can't beat that boss alone, let's go." Hyun-woo reasoned aloud. "It's for level 20 and under. Why fight early? Let's prepare first." He called to Lucky, who perked up, ears twitching as the command sparked his readiness. With a grin, Hyun-woo raised his glowing staff, dark energy pulsing as skulls circled its core. "I'll show you what it means to be carried," he said, voice steady with confidence. Far ahead, something stirred. A green-skinned arm slammed down, massive, brutal. The decaying orc had arrived. The decaying orc smashed down, shaking the ground. Screams followed as players scattered in blind panic. "Healer! Now!" one yelled. "Dealers, focus!" another barked. Chaos ruled, and tension snapped between teammates instantly. The tank growled, "Don't make me waste potions." His voice dominated. Clearly, he led this party. Hyun-woo remembered struggling like them, barely keeping up when he'd first joined groups around this same area. But then, Wales bought skills with cash, widening the power gap. The game changed for everyone. Hyun-woo used to resent rich players. They skipped effort, buying power while others struggled to survive. Now, standing tall, he smirked. Luck had brought him far, maybe others would judge him too. A lone enemy lumbered into view. "That one," Hyun-woo whispered. "I can handle it myself." Magic gathered in his palm, glowing blue. His hand moved with calm and perfect aim. He drew the ethereal bowstring, steady and sure. The glowing arrow charged, ready to strike hard. Hyun-woo shouted, "Ice arrow!" His eyes locked onto the target as magical energy surged through him. The arrow whistled through the air, blue streak trailing fast toward the orc's exposed chest. A chilling explosion burst on impact. The orc roared in pain, ice spreading across its torso. The monster groaned, clutching itself. Flames suddenly gathered in its palm clearly. It wasn't going down easily. Hyunwoo reacted fast. "Fireball!" he yelled, unleashing another spell to intercept the orc's incoming counterattack. Hyunwoo's fireball collided with the orc boom. The monster fell, consumed by flame and frozen shards. A blue window blinked open, level up. Hyunwoo smirked, embers swirling around his triumphant stance. "Hey, did you hear the rumor?" one voice asked, whispers spreading like sparks through town. "They say a magician's clearing orcs solo in the pool forest. One combo man," someone added. In a tavern, murmurs grew louder. "A grand warlock? Must be rich. Live streams too, I heard." A shady player smirked in the shadows, eyeing his drink and plotting something dark and selfish. "If you kill a rich grand warlock," he muttered, "what kind of loot drops?" Meanwhile, Hyunwoo flinched, glancing around. "Why do I feel like someone's definitely talking about me?" An orc's roar snapped him back. The enemy charged. "Crap," Hyunwoo muttered. "Time to focus." Flames swirled in his palm. His eyes narrowed. Hyunwoo readied his next move, no time for fear. Hyunwoo hurled the fireball with precision, the blazing orb slicing through air toward its target. It struck hard. Boom! The explosion echoed, shaking trees and scattering dust across the ruined path. "All right, that's a home run!" he shouted, watching the orc collapse with a satisfying thud. A soft hum surrounded him. "Huh?" He blinked as glowing light surged around his body. A message appeared. "You have leveled up!" He grinned wide. "I'm finally level 20! Hyunwoo spun joyfully with Lucky. "We did it!" he cheered, hearts floating in their wake. He laughed. "Level 20 in 4 days! If only I had this luck years ago!" Lucky barked. Hyunwoo grinned. Yeah, let's claim the card reward before thinking about world domination." He hovered over the prompt. "A legendary card, huh?" His finger tapped yes without hesitation. Glowing lights surrounded him. "That'd be nice," he whispered. Cards shimmered as the reward system activated again. Hyunwoo sighed. "We haven't pulled anything great since level 11. He scanned the swirling card choices. Suddenly, a flash. His eyes widened. "Wait!" Lucky barked in shock. Something unexpected was definitely happening. Rows of futuristic capsules lined the lab. Suddenly, someone shouted from inside, "I got a unique item!" The commotion caught the others' attention. Players glanced up from their own pods, curious and confused. A broad man burst out, grinning from ear to ear, yelling, "Guys, I got a unique rank ring!" He laughed triumphantly and shouted, "Order your lunch! It's on me!" The room filled with surprised murmurs. In the corner, Hyunwoo remained quiet. A colleague nudged him. "Huh? Hyunwoo! You should order lunch too." Hyunwoo declined the free lunch offer, feeling unease and guilt swirl through his mind silently inside him. Colleagues sighed quietly, urging Hyunwoo to join them again, concern shading his familiar expression behind gentle eyes. The observer thought in disbelief that Hyunwoo passed up a free lunch, puzzled by his solemn refusal. The man stared at the capsule's closing hiss, convinced Hyunwoo must be enduring an especially hard struggle. The final panel showed sunlight filtering through distant trees, foreshadowing Hyunwoo's difficult journey ahead as destiny awaits. Hyunwoo stared at the skill card, stunned. "I can't get over how crazy this is." The skill, Dragon's Might, boosted all magic damage and synergized perfectly with magician-type characters in battle. Still catching his breath, Hyunwoo muttered, "Wow, I don't know what to say. This is insane." Unlike long tosses that scaled with distance, Dragon's Might enhanced total damage to every enemy nearby. In short, every player fighting alongside Hyunwoo in a battle would gain a 10% attack bonus. Hyunwoo grinned to himself. "I'd already be contributing to raids even if I just stood still. But that's not enough for me," he said. "If it were, I'd have joined a guild." He looked at his pet. "I want to be rich enough to get private art lessons someday." He added, "And I want a big house where my family can live in comfort without worry." The system alert flashed. Hyunwoo looked ahead and said, "Hey, we're here already. Let's get started." Hyunwoo stood firm and said, "Open inventory." A glowing menu appeared right in front of him. His eyes scanned the items. He reached out and said, "Equip," selecting the unique glowing ring. He remembered the warning. "She said I'll need the ring to get into the hidden dungeon." As he stepped forward, the ground gave way. He slipped suddenly and dropped into the darkness below. He hit the ground hard, breath knocked out. "It's deeper than it looks," he muttered, stunned. A blinding flash erupted around Hyunwoo as the dungeon responded to the activation of his equipped ring. A system alert appeared. "You sense the dungeon's barrier." Hyunwoo's eyes widened in cautious anticipation. The system continued. "The ring made from the fragment of the lost god has neutralized the barrier." As the ground trembled, Hyunwoo stumbled back. The floor cracked beneath him, revealing a massive stone stairway. He approached the entrance. Another alert displayed. "You have entered the hidden dungeon forgotten temple of trial." Hyunwoo grinned as the secret alert appeared. He had officially entered the hidden dungeon starting zone. He pumped his fist in excitement. "Yes!" he shouted, ready for whatever came his way. Suddenly, fire burst from the darkness. A massive ogre charged forward, slamming the ground with brute strength. Without hesitation, Hyunwoo dashed sideways, barely dodging the monster's hammer and preparing his first attack spell. He raised his hand and yelled, "Fireball!" The blazing spell exploded against the ogre with a boom. Hyunwoo counted aloud, "That makes it 22 oars now." He thought about streaming but kept quiet. Suddenly he sensed something and said, "Oh." The dark dungeon ahead felt ominous and different. He approached a huge door. "Is this where the boss is?" he asked, anticipation rising. The massive door creaked open slowly, casting light into the dark chamber as he stepped inside. Without hesitation, Hyunwoo raised his arms, preparing to block any incoming attack immediately. A system alert warned, "The foul stench makes you nauseous." Hyunwoo prepared for the incoming threat. Suddenly, a massive, decaying orc stirred and rose from the shadows, its presence overwhelming and menacing. Hyunwoo analyzed the monster, muttering, "I knew it'd be an undead creature." His focus sharpened. The system showed the orc's life bar. Hyunwoo frowned. Something was very wrong with its health. The orc roared fiercely. "What's wrong with its life meter?" Hyunwoo braced himself for a difficult fight. The orc roared, "It's got 30 times the health of a common orc!" Hyunwoo readied himself carefully. The orc charged, smashing the ground. Hyunwoo dodged swiftly, barely avoiding the crushing attack's impact. Hyunwoo's eyes widened. "Huh?" He noticed the orc's health was incredibly high beyond normal expectations. The orc slowly rose, revealing its massive stamina. Hyunwoo braced for a long, grueling battle ahead. Though powerful, the orc moved sluggishly. Hyunwoo wondered quietly, "But why is it so slow?" Hyunwoo wondered, "Does it have a movement penalty in exchange for high HP?" He observed the orc's slow speed. Spinning quickly, he laughed softly. "Then there's no reason to be scared," he whispered confidently. A flame ignited in his palm. He focused, preparing to attack with precise timing. He calculated his actions carefully, knowing he could keep a safe distance and still cast spells fast. With determination, Hyunwoo shouted, "Fireball!" as a blazing sphere of magic shot toward the lumbering orc. Hyunwoo noticed the hit was nearly ineffective. "I was spot on, but it hardly took damage." He reminded himself, "As expected of a boss, this will take some time, but that's fine." The orc roared loudly, but Hyunwoo remained calm. "I can bring it down eventually," he said. The orc's body trembled slightly as the battle wore on, showing signs of weakening. Hyunwoo and his pet took cautious steps forward, prepared to continue the fight with steady focus. Hyunwoo stood tall, victorious over the decaying orc, ready to claim his hard-earned loot and rewards. Through the arched window, Shalin commended Hyunwoo's success in locating the traces of the lost god. Hyunwoo hesitated, drenched in sweat, unsure how to explain the truth behind the god's swift defeat. As he stammered, Shalin tossed him a glowing book, an unexpected reward, coldly delivered without affection. She clarified, it was a skill book, one he hadn't truly earned, her gaze unwavering and stern. Hyunwoo clutched the book, trying to protest, but she already knew the deeper truth behind his silence. Shaleen sensed Hyunwoo's curiosity. He needed to know the dying god's last words, the final mystery. She called him predictable, then began recounting the moment before, when things spiraled in the dungeon. Earlier, Hyunwoo admired the boss item's stats, unaware of the looming threat watching from behind. Suddenly, the fallen boss spoke, terrifying Hyunwoo with a loud shout, causing him to gasp loudly. Panicked, Hyunwoo scolded the undead god for talking post-death. This wasn't part of his gaming expectations. Hyunwoo froze as the voice spoke of a weapon powerful enough to end every known legend. Startled by the message, he spun around, only to find Shaleen calmly waiting behind him. Shaleen proposed a trade complete a favor, and she'd reveal everything she knew about the weapon. With a sly smile, she offered him a main quest, watching his interest visibly ignite. A system alert confirmed the quest: defeat the Berserker Orc, earn Shaleen's ring, and unlock deeper knowledge. A system notice revealed that unlocking the Cursed Forest would grant awareness of the Almighty class. The game's deepest secret, the mythic Almighty class, was real, confirming wild rumors about unmatched power. At a press conference, reporters questioned developers about weapons rumored to surpass even legendary tier items. With a sly grin, the developer responded vaguely, neither confirming nor denying their actual existence. The media captured his ambiguous answer, fueling speculation that the Almighty class might truly exist. Despite the rumors, no player found any weapons or items matching the alleged Almighty class power. Over time, the public dismissed it as fiction, believing the myth was just clever marketing. But Hyunwoo knew the truth. Carelessness now could endanger both his own life and his family. He feared the global consequences if word spread. The truth could shatter the game's fragile balance. Resolved, Hyunwoo decided to keep the secret hidden, at least until the right time to act. Hyunwoo turned away from the mystery, deciding it was safer to focus on the quest. With the title screen fading, the next episode began his journey into the Berserker Orc quest. Far from the game world, someone else silently worried, unsure if things would turn out okay. The ominous name Berserker Orc echoed in his mind, a reminder of what lay ahead in battle. Despite weak rewards, the quest was rare and difficult, proving one's worth required more than strength. Despite its difficulty, many players attempted the quest, eager to challenge the fearsome Berserker Orc. Party recruitment notices filled the screen, everyone seeking teammates to face the game's most iconic boss. The Berserker Orc wasn't just powerful, it had become a symbol of status and recognition in-game. Hyunwoo reflected quietly. For many, defeating that boss was a portfolio booster or senseless bloodshed. He admitted the truth: fighting it alone was impossible, not something he could handle right now. Hyunwoo searched intensely, realizing he might need a party if he wanted to complete this quest. Taiwoo noticed Hyunwoo's serious mood and asked what had him so unusually concentrated that morning. Hyunwoo gave a vague answer, brushing it off as nothing more than routine work stress. Taiwoo wasn't convinced and reminded him not to ruin the good atmosphere with gloomy thoughts. Jokingly, Taiwoo teased Hyunwoo for sighing, asking him to smile instead and lighten up a little. Taiwoo joked about Hyunwoo's love life, doubting his brother would ever successfully date someone someday. Embarrassed, Hyunwoo shouted back, telling him to focus on Hyrin instead of unnecessary personal comments. Still smiling, Taiwoo agreed, while Hyunwoo admitted their income from selling rare items was currently enough. But Hyunwoo knew survival wasn't enough. He needed to grow stronger, even if it meant playing solo. Alone on the street, he questioned teaming up with weaker players, preferring to rely on himself. Hyunwoo arrived at the Hunter's capsule station, still unsure about his solo journey ahead. With a quiet thought, he resolved to rely on himself and Lucky to survive together. Lucky leapt toward him joyfully, and Hyunwoo smiled, asking if he'd missed their usual hunts. Though his username Midas was forgettable, Hyunwoo knew recognition would come once he joined a party. He wasn't ready for attention yet. He wanted strength. First, Lucky barked in agreement beside him. Hyunwoo praised Lucky with a smile but noticed something odd. His pet seemed confused suddenly. A glowing question mark floated over Lucky's head. leaving Hyunwoo puzzled by the unexpected symbol. Before he could react further, a bright flash and alert signaled something major was happening. The system revealed Lucky's evolution requirement: land fatal blows on 444 monsters to unlock new powers. Hyunwoo was stunned. He always thought evolution depended on experience points, not direct monster kills like this. Hyunwoo realized the online guides claiming 5,000 monster kills were needed for evolution were wrong. He discovered the evolution requirement was actually based on fatal blows, not raw monster counts. Knowing this truth, Hyunwoo recognized the data's value. It could be sold to other players later. Overjoyed, he hugged Lucky tightly, calling him a good luck charm and thanking him excitedly. With renewed confidence, Hyunwoo laughed, believing Lucky's evolution could help them defeat the Berserker Orc alone. Hyunwoo grinned, thinking that earning a unique rank skill through Lucky's evolution would be a great bonus. He sprinted into the forest, full of energy, calling out to Lucky with absolute determination. He knew the task would be slow. Landing 444 fatal hits wasn't something done quickly. Still, he accepted the grind and began searching for a proper monster to begin with. Spying a tough green brute, Hyunwoo pointed it out. This would be Lucky's first evolution target. Hyunwoo decided it was the perfect time to try the skill book he got earlier. He quietly moved through the forest, Lucky close behind, preparing to activate the new magic. A flame swirled in his hand, the third legendary spell he obtained, though never tested until now. He usually cast spells randomly, but now he aimed to unleash focused power with precision. Smiling with resolve, he readied Dragon's Eye, eager to see its true strength in battle. Hyunwoo adjusted his cap, focusing hard. God Wars had no auto-aim, just pure precision. Without target assist, every spell cast required sharp instincts. One mistake could be deadly mid-battle. The orc growled fiercely from afar. Most players feared its charge, but Hyunwoo stood calmly. His eyes glowed, Dragon's Eye, and Long Toss activated. He measured 40 meters. A bright target lock flared. Hyunwoo locked in. Perfect, he muttered. The spell shot forward. Hyunwoo aimed precisely at the orc's weak point. From this distance, his skills gave bonus damage. The spell blasted through the air and exploded on impact. It landed perfectly maximum range, perfect strike. The system confirmed. Direct hit from range, plus a critical weak spot. The orc was finished. Hyunwoo exhaled sharply, satisfied. A system message declared his victory and awarded him the 1 orc, 1 kill. Grinning, he celebrated the bonus reward. Even got a title for it, he said, fists clenched. Hyunwoo played with Lucky by the water, asking casually if the pet liked that spot. The pet meowed, bounced around, then paused, noticing something strange. Hyunwoo turned, spotting something unexpected too. The message appeared suddenly: Grand Warlock streamer. Another chapter had closed, and new events were coming. Back in real life, Hyunwoo sat silently, visibly exhausted. Mikyu noticed and watched with concern. He gently comforted him, saying, "Things seem bad sometimes." Hyunwoo nodded slowly. "Yeah, I guess. Thanks." Mikyu suddenly asked if Hyunwoo had visited the foul forest lately. It seemed different recently. Hyunwoo looked up, surprised. Mikyu explained people noticed that the forest's horrible smell had mostly disappeared. Could in-game weather cause that? Mikyu wondered. Hyunwoo grew more curious, now questioning if he caused something. He recalled killing the dungeon boss earlier. Was that it? He thought, connecting the change. His mind raced. Completing story quests might affect the entire world. This wasn't just normal gameplay. Hyunwoo grew worried. If changes were too visible, others might discover the main scenario's secret. He stood up, deciding firmly he had to defeat the Berserker Orc before anyone else did. Laughing, Mikyu joked about smell settings. Who even plays with scent sensors? That's just weird. They both laughed. In foul forest, no less, Mikyu added. Hyunwoo knew time was running out. Inside the game, Hyunwoo launched into battle. The orc roared as his blade struck hard. Hyunwoo cheered loudly. After countless battles, they finally reached their goal, defeating 444 total monsters. A system message appeared. Divine energy was overflowing from Hyunwoo's patron deity and entering Lucky's body. Brilliant light engulfed the small creature. Lucky hovered, glowing intensely as his transformation began. Another message confirmed Lucky's form was evolving. The soft shape stretched, surrounded by radiant light. Hyunwoo's eyes widened with excitement. Lucky's paws touched down, stronger and more majestic than ever. Lucky howled proudly. His evolution wasn't just physical, he'd received divine recognition and a new blessing. A special power had awakened in Lucky, granted directly by Hyunwoo's deity as a unique favor. Overjoyed, Hyunwoo hugged him tightly. Could this be the luckiest wolf in all of God Wars? Surrounded by glowing cards, Hyunwoo stood amazed. This moment felt like the start of something greater. Mikyu laughed, patting Lucky. You're not just lucky anymore, you're practically the god of luck. Hyunwoo stared ahead, amazed. That spell wasn't expected yet, but it came exactly when they needed it. With confidence, he declared they could defeat the Berserker Orc, now no backup, no help required. Elsewhere, players gathered near a campfire. One asked about a group moving into the forest. They confirmed Rising Star Guild's small party planned to face the Berserker Orc alone. A red alert flashed. The Berserker Orc had appeared. It's here! One shouted, rallying the others. Rumors spread quickly someone was challenging the Berserker Orc alone. Players whispered, curious who it was. Far away, winds howled over dark hills. The forest trembled, signaling something powerful was about to begin. The Berserker Orc roared, lifting its massive axe. A solo player had finally entered the fight. Hyunwoo dashed in fast, holding a flame-imbued spell. Timing and positioning would decide this dangerous encounter. With resolve, he shouted, "Lucky, do it now!" His partner's move would trigger the opening attack. Hyunwoo considered a risky tactic. What if a skill could draw enemy attention without breaking mid-battle? Lucky barked sharply, radiating power. The Berserker Orc froze, eyes locked onto the glowing wolf. The system confirmed. Lucky used critical resolve, forcing the orc to target only him. Hyunwoo grinned, knowing the opening had worked. The orc now fully focused on Lucky's position. As Lucky spun to dodge, the enraged orc roared with fury. Hyunwoo whispered, "That's it!" Storm clouds stirred above the hills. The tension deepened as danger thickened in the distance. The Berserker Orc stomped toward Lucky, falling for the bait. Hyunwoo's plan was working perfectly. With timing locked in, Hyunwoo cast his spell. "Fireball!" he shouted, releasing it with full force. The blast struck hard from afar, maximum range bonus activated. It hit the orc's exposed weak spot. Hyunwoo's eyes narrowed. The next stage was coming fast. We'll enter Phase 3 quite soon. A group of players approached, curious. Let's go watch him try to solo the orc. They doubted him. He'll obviously fail, right? One said, laughing as they walked toward the fight. Another added, he must have a reason, but still. Tough luck trying something that reckless. They scoffed. Nobody beats Phase 3 Berserker mode alone. It's a guaranteed wipe. Meanwhile, Hyunwoo's spell ignited again. Flames roared and struck the orc dead on, shaking the battlefield. The orc's body turned red, glowing with rage. Its transformation to Phase 3 had begun. Hyunwoo's face tensed. "It's Phase 3!" he shouted. "Lucky, run!" he ordered without hesitation. Lucky barked and darted away, understanding the urgency. He had to survive and maintain threat control. The orc let out a thunderous roar and raised its weapon, now even more aggressive. As the orc smashed down, Lucky dodged narrowly. Tanking became harder with each phase's power increase. If someone possessed enough real-world strength to deal burst damage quickly, tanks wouldn't always be needed. Lucky leapt away as the Berserker Orc roared, smashing the ground in blind, furious aggression. Hyunwoo locked his eyes on the target. This moment was exactly what he had prepared for. Every step, every spell, all had led to this precise point, the culmination of his strategy. With fiery momentum, he launched forward heart-focused, body ready driven by purpose and nothing else. Hyunwoo twisted his body mid-air, drawing strength from years of pitching practice to release the spell. The explosive spell struck the beast dead center, hurling it back as flames engulfed the stone floor. Blue system messages appeared in Hyunwoo's vision, announcing a chain of unexpected achievements and new unlocks. The monster's mask cracked open, its crimson eyes dimmed as another reward for defeating it flashed on screen. Hyunwoo smirked confidently, brushing ash from his shoulder. That's how you end a dungeon. He bolted out crumbling chamber, the quest complete, and many houses are seen with bright sun. Shaolin turned, surprised by his return. Back already? I thought you'd take longer today. Hyunwoo panted, storming in with Lucky. Mission cleared, he grinned. Both of them looked perfectly fine. He knelt beside the wolf. You did amazing out there, Lucky. The loyal companion barked proudly. She crossed her arms, voice dry. If you failed, I'd never share the secret class. Still, her tone softened. You earned a reward. With a glow, magic danced between her fingers. A glowing green wisp floated toward him. Its magic shimmered faintly, pulsing with unknown energy. Hyunwoo reached out instinctively, his palm steady as the energy coiled downward into his waiting hand. The system displayed Shaolin's ring. The artifact gleamed, embedding itself into his skin like a tattoo. Stats boosted instantly: power, health, mana. His eyes widened. This is unreal, he whispered in disbelief. Excited, he turned to Lucky. Look at this. The dog sniffed the air, tail wagging. She raised her voice sharply. Enough wasting time. No more delay, let's get to business. Hyunwoo straightened up, attention focused. Lucky stood alert. Something in her tone felt urgent and serious. She lifted her arm. Green energy swirled as she spoke. The gods once waged war through others. Warriors answered divine calls. Countless battles unfolded, each side fighting for their chosen deity without hesitation. She continued, eyes narrowing. But one surpassed them all. He did what no other could. She described the Golden Warrior. He was undefeated, every battle marked by his presence and strength. His legend grew. Enemies trembled at his arrival. Followers praised him as the symbol of victory. But the war still raged, she said, her tone colder now. Even his power wasn't enough. Clenching her fist, she revealed the truth. Winning endlessly didn't end the gods' war. Hyunwoo listened, stunned. So, even legendary gear can't fix it, he muttered, suddenly doubting his path. She spoke calmly. He began searching for something beyond legends, something greater than simple victories. Her eyes narrowed slightly. Something strong enough to end the war forever, no matter the cost. She paused. He searched for the Almighty, a power unlike anything seen in past wars. A system message appeared. You have earned the title, Aware of the Almighty class. Hyunwoo froze. She looked him in the eye. It's a weapon strong enough to slay gods. Interested? Hyunwoo lit up with excitement. Yes, of course. Tell me everything, don't leave anything out. She turned without answering. Fine, I'll give you another task. He followed, sensing more trouble ahead. She grinned slyly. Hunt loco zombies in the cursed forest. Let's see how you manage. Hyunwoo shrugged confidently. Probably just find another monster holding the right item again. Easy win, right? His smile faded. The quest demanded 1,000 kills. Huh? Reality hit harder than he expected. The screen pulsed again. 1,000 monsters, no shortcuts, no cheats. The quest was completely real. Hyunwoo raised his hand awkwardly. Excuse me, ma'am, is killing every single one truly required? She smirked confidently. What's the matter? Scared already? Her words made it clear there'd be no mercy. He forced a laugh. No, I'm just really excited. Totally looking forward to it. His thoughts betrayed him. This game of freaking sucks, he muttered, staring longingly at a quiet noodle shop. Hyunwoo slouched in his chair, groaning. Geez, how am I supposed to kill 1,000? From across the room, his coworker called out, Hey, Hyunwoo! You missed a call earlier! He picked up the phone, checking the screen. Huh? It's from Taiwoo. That's unexpected. Holding the phone to his ear, Hyunwoo frowned. Hope it's not anything serious this time, a young voice cried out. Uncle! Hyunwoo's eyes widened. Hiren, he said, startled by the sudden call. Hiren beamed through the phone, shouting excitedly. I got an award for my drawing, Uncle. Taiwu smiled. Sorry to bother you, she won a prize and wanted you to know first. Hyunwoo cheered. Nice! Way to go, Hiren. First place in her school? He was genuinely impressed. Taiwu corrected him. No, it was a citywide contest, Yeren whispered. When's Uncle coming home? Hyunwoo froze. She won first in the city, and now it's going to the province? What? Hyunwoo grinned wide. Then we need to celebrate the occasion properly with a feast tonight. He laughed into the phone. Taiwu, tell Hiren we're getting chicken for dinner, her choice. Hiren's eyes sparkled. Fried chicken? She gasped, already dreaming of crispy bites and dipping sauces. Taiwu chuckled. You've got her all troubled now she can't decide between original or sweet and sour. Hyunwoo's smile softened. Yeah, we've never really had enough money to give her everything she wanted. Don't worry, I'll get both flavors, Hyunwoo promised, determined to make Hiren's day special. Really? Uncle, you're the best, she squealed. Her joy gave Hyunwoo a renewed sense of purpose. 1,000 monsters? Fine, I'll kill them all, he smiled. I'll start heading home now. A coworker sighed quietly. He works so hard, must be rough after losing his main account. He glanced at his screen. Huh? Wars TV just uploaded a new video. A new distraction awaited. Hyukju walked into the office quietly, his eyes still heavy from thoughts lingering since last night. He looked up slowly. Good morning, Hyunwoo. His voice lacked its usual energy and cheer. Realizing who just entered, he perked up. Oh, hello, Hyunwoo, he said, face lighting up. Hyunwoo raised an eyebrow. What's got you all dazed this morning? You barely noticed me earlier. Hyukju replied, Everyone's talking about the new Video Wars TV uploaded yesterday. Hyunwoo blinked. Huh? What video? Hyukju held up his phone. Some rich guy soloed a boss monster using rare gear. He sighed. Players like that ruin balance. Why grind hard if they skip everything with money? Hyunwoo flinched as Hyukju added, He killed the berserker orc. His smile dropped for a moment. The stream began with cheerful greetings as the host introduced today's trending content from Wars TV. She smiled brightly, announcing an exciting new video clip that had taken the game world by storm. The footage showed a mysterious player defeating the berserker, something nearly impossible without unfair advantages or rare items. A majestic mythical creature tanked every blow, shielding the player and stunning viewers with its powerful defense. Debate erupted online, fans arguing the creature's strength was too great not to be party eligible. The video posted on Wars TV exploded in popularity, quickly racking up thousands of eager views. Hyunwoo stared at the screen, frustrated his clip had gone viral without him intending it to. He had done everything possible to stay unnoticed, fearing the attention would cause him problems later. Now he regretted not sending his video to Wars TV himself and claiming the spotlight properly. Though hesitant, he considered quietly uploading the video to forums, hoping to steer the narrative himself again. The two friends discussed overpowered players, annoyed how they disrupted the balance and discouraged average gamers. Hyunwoo tried defending them casually, brushing off harsh words as exaggerated complaints against skilled or wealthy users. His friend reminded him of past rants when Hyunwoo spoke bitterly about rich players dominating everything. Embarrassed, Hyunwoo flinched. He did once say they'd deserve electrocution or truck accidents out of frustration and envy. Trying to move on, he agreed to set the capsule, avoiding more talk about his past remarks. The cursed forest loomed with blood-stained ground, its dangerous reputation feared by nearly all experienced players. Thick fog and dark terrain made visibility almost impossible, creating constant ambushes and sudden monster encounters. Most players avoided the area entirely, knowing how easily one could be swarmed and torn apart. Hyunwoo stood calm, firing ice arrows at a charging zombie orc, landing a direct and lethal hit. Thanks to Dragon's Eye, he navigated with ease, earning kills and leveling up his ice magic. Hyunwoo checked his progress, 76 enemies down, but still far from completing the 1,000 kill quest. He sighed, frustrated that Lucky, his loyal wolf companion, kept interrupting the pace with frequent distractions. Suddenly, Lucky sniffed the air sharply, triggering a system alert that he had detected an unknown scent. The wolf barked urgently and darted forward, forcing Hyunwoo to chase after him through the undergrowth. Catching up, Hyunwoo laughed helplessly, realizing Lucky's instincts always took over when something strange was nearby. Hyunwoo's eyes widened. He spotted a dark herb, a rare material worth nearly 20,000 won. Unable to resist the value, he quickly knelt down and began harvesting the glowing purple plant. He chuckled, praising Lucky's sharp nose, admitting the wolf led him better than any in-game guide. Suddenly, Lucky barked again, this time more urgent, alerting him to something hidden deeper beyond the bushes. Hyunwoo grew cautious, sensing danger rather than treasure. Lucky's tone meant trouble was hiding just ahead. Lucky found a wounded man barely conscious, groaning in pain near the tree's exposed roots. Hyunwoo approached cautiously, confused this was an unfamiliar NPC, one he hadn't encountered in previous runs. The man stirred and sat up slowly, startled by Hyunwoo's presence and visibly weak from exhaustion. Struggling to speak, he finally whispered that he was once an adventurer, lost, and nearly forgotten. Introducing himself as Midas from the city of Wiga, he hinted at something deeper unfolding nearby. Hyunwoo offered help, assuming the man was searching for a rare item or needing safe travel. He promised assistance without hesitation, confidently assuring the man he'd ask for nothing in return. With a warm smile, Hyunwoo emphasized he wasn't looking for any reward or compensation. The man stared silently, surprised by the unexpected kindness, unsure how to respond at first. Standing up slowly, he introduced himself as Yoshi, then admitted he needed help with something urgent. A bright flash signaled the start of Yoshi's request, surprising Hyunwoo with a sudden quest. Yoshi explained he needed 100 cursed fragments from zombies to complete a mysterious personal objective. Without hesitation, Hyunwoo accepted the request and promised to gather the materials as quickly as possible. The system echoed a tip. Top-ranked players shared secrets to leveling quickly by targeting efficient goals. They advised using legendary weapons and rare skills to defeat enemies far stronger than your current level. Hyunwoo remembered the advice, completed it quickly and alone, and began eliminating zombies one after another. With a burst of magic, he took down a zombie orc and instantly gained a level. So far, the plan worked perfectly. Hyunwoo had already slain 200 zombies without much difficulty. He praised Lucky for keeping watch, finally deciding it was time to take a well-earned break. As he rested, Lucky whimpered softly, still alert, sensing that danger might not be far off. Lucky sniffed the air again and barked loudly, catching Hyunwoo's attention just before he rested. The system confirmed Lucky smelled something strange, prompting Hyunwoo to stand up and prepare to move. He smiled and apologized to Lucky, reminded again how vital his companion was to everything. An unfamiliar NPC named Zack appeared, offering a task to hunt zombie spawns and travel to Wiga. Accepting the rare-ranked quest, Hyunwoo saw the reward, a valuable skill card book he couldn't ignore. Hyunwoo acknowledged the cursed forest wasn't popular, but it oddly gave him back-to-back quests. He noted the eerie silence no other players had been seen since he entered the dark woods. Though not as notorious as Initiation Town, the forest still fell under Adventurers Guild control. But strangely, not a single guild member had crossed his path since arriving in the area. Suspicious, Hyunwoo questioned the situation, and Lucky barked suddenly, sensing that something deeper was happening nearby. Hyunwoo wondered if everything unfolding was fate or just an unusually lucky day for him. His journey brought him to the city of Wiga, bustling with merchants, adventurers, and opportunity. An NPC greeted him, impressed he survived the forest and defeated so many dangerous undead monsters. True to their word, the NPC handed over a sealed reward for completing the zombie hunt. As Hyunwoo accepted the prize, he looked around, realizing his path might just be beginning. Hyunwoo knelt beside Lucky, removing his cloak, realizing the wolf must have felt uncomfortable and hot. He opened the quest rewards menu, excited to check which skill came from the completed mission. Seeing the card, He planned to use both rewards, especially the unique one received from Yoshi. As the unique skill card book activated, magical cards floated around them, each radiating mysterious, glowing power. The game pod hissed open, steam rising as Hyunwoo slowly emerged from his deep gaming session. A worker approached, concerned. "You've been playing for hours. No break." Hyunwoo didn't even respond. The man checked the time. 4:44 p.m. "Triple fours? That's unlucky," he muttered nervously. Hyunwoo clutched his head, visibly distressed. The worker glanced again, sensing something strange was going on inside. "Please, give me space. I'm losing my mind," Hyunwoo groaned, still trapped between reality and game. A sudden grin broke across Hyunwoo's face. "I'm gonna go nuts," he declared with confidence. The game's title flashed Grand Warlock Streamer. Hyunwoo knew this moment would change everything forever. The rules were clear. One ID, one class, no exceptions. A rare path was available. A unique, overlooked class appeared. Most ignored it, but Hyunwoo sensed it held hidden power waiting. Holding his phone, he smiled. "It's all mine," he whispered. His new journey was about to begin. Hyunwoo read message after message. Agencies and networks wanted exclusive rights to his recent game video. He calmly evaluated the offers. Most were within expectations for someone who soloed the Berserker organization. One offer caught his eye: $10,000. He blinked. "What? Who is this guy?" he muttered confusedly. Then he noticed the currency. Eyes widened. "Wait, it's not one. It's in dollars?" He burst into laughter, slapping his forehead. "This must be a joke. What a sense of humor!" Hyunwoo stared at his phone, hands trembling. "But it's a verified account," he whispered skeptically. His eyes widened more. "It's from the Rising Star channel." That name carried serious industry weight. He recalled their reputation: high quality, sleek production, and powerful marketing. They weren't ordinary content publishers. Rising Star focused on promising new gamers. Their fast growth was fueled by highlighting rookie talents. Hyunwoo smiled. "If they buy this video, I won't need to sell my ballista skill." Hyunwoo paused before replying. A thought struck him. Wait a minute, there's something I'm forgetting. He realized he couldn't negotiate well if they knew he was just a single individual. Meanwhile, across the city, executives at Rising Star were reviewing the offer again in their office. A staff member reminded the boss, "Sir, the Wharton School. You mentioned reconsidering the offer amount." The executive smirked confidently. "This Grand Warlock Streamer guy? I know he doesn't have the skills." A Rising Star producer scoffed. "He only won because he had rare gear and skills." He leaned forward, confident. "He probably spent a fortune to get all that gear, right?" "But think about it," he continued, grinning. "Why would someone pour so much into a game?" The executive replied, "He could have paid for a leveling service. No effort, just instant power." The producer stood, smiling. "So why risk everything in a solo boss fight? What's your guess?" The executive hesitated. "Why would someone take such a risk?" he asked, genuinely curious this time. I'm not sure, sir," the assistant replied, clearly unsure how to explain the streamer's motivation. The producer answered confidently, "Because he wants attention. That's all this is, it's for recognition. A guy like that spends big, gets noticed. Then we treat him like a VIP." The producer smirked. "He'll accept the deal for sure." The executive leaned forward. "Okay, then what next?" The producer raised his glass confidently. "Then we invite him to dinner. Drinks help loosen tongues. Once relaxed, we talk business. That's when he shows how he really spends his money. Judging from his activity, I'd say he holds assets worth at least 10 billion won. Smirking, he added, "I'd happily pay 10 grand to become friends with someone like that." Just then, the assistant announced, "Sir, we've got a reply." The producer grinned. "He'll claim he's an agency." The assistant read aloud, "Hello, this is Grand Warlock Streamer Entertainment. We've reviewed your proposal." The producer grinned smugly. "You're right, sir. See, I told you, Walton School never disappoints." "He says they're reviewing the offer and are optimistic, sir. the assistant reported with slight caution. Good, the producer said as he stood. Let's begin. It's time to move. With a sharp grin, he added, We're going to suck all the money out of him. Dark clouds gathered over the mountain as Hyunwoo shouted, Come get a piece of me! A monstrous creature responded with a roar, charging toward him through the mist-covered forest path. Hyunwoo activated Ballista, his stance locked, body firm. The skill enhanced his power from a stationary position. He struck from max range. The explosion shook the battlefield his attack had landed perfectly, full force. Yes! He shouted, eyes sharp. A system message confirmed it. Weak spot hit, critical damage dealt. Hyunwoo stood over fallen enemies. The message appeared. You have slain a zombie orc. A soft chime followed. Main quest objective complete. He finally finished what seemed an endless battle. Back in town, a silver-haired NPC greeted him. You killed 1,000 monsters. Did anything stand out? Hyunwoo recalled foul odors and desecrated altars signs that deeper, corrupted powers were at play behind everything. Perhaps the lost god's power spread farther, he muttered, wondering how wide the infection had grown. The silver-haired NPC nodded. Excellent. Hyunwoo waited, expecting the usual next phase of the mission. He sighed internally. Here it comes, defeat the forest boss. Probably the vagrant shaman again. Instead, she said, find out why the forest was cursed. That wasn't what Hyunwoo expected. Then she turned to leave. You may go now. Hyunwoo panicked. Wait, where's my reward? He chased after her. Hey, wait a minute. She glanced back. What now? She asked, unimpressed. Hyunwoo stood firm. I killed 1,000 monsters, you know that, so where's my reward? The silver-haired NPC blinked calmly. And? She replied, unfazed by his frustration or his accomplishment. Shocked, Hyunwoo panicked. Is this a bug? He shouted, overwhelmed by the lack of recognition. I'll exit and re-enter, he muttered, heading to the door. She finally sighed. Okay, fine. A glowing book floated before him. Given your condition, you'll need help. Let me assist. Hyunwoo stared at the floating book, unsure but hopeful. Slowly, he reached out and accepted it. Grinning, he shouted, Thank you so much! As the magic pulsed through his hands with excitement. He turned to his wolf companion. Hey, Lucky! Howl for me, this might be it! The screen lit up, opening a unique skill card. Hyunwoo closed his eyes and prayed hard. Light flashed as he peeked. His eyes widened instantly. Something powerful had awakened from within the card. Hyunwoo drew a glowing card, Double Casting, a rare skill allowing him to cast 2 spells simultaneously. The game pod hissed open as Hyunwoo returned from a long and exhausting VR gaming session. His friend burst into the room, eyes wide with excitement, waving both arms like crazy. Hyunwoo! Guess what? He shouted, practically bouncing, unable to contain the news bubbling from within. Jibei has gone wild, he exclaimed, face lit with joy, unaware of Hyunwoo's puzzled, tired expression. A double casting skill card is up for sale, he yelled, hands flailing in disbelief. His friend explained it had been months since any rare skill card showed up for purchase. He added, Then one just popped up on the marketplace this morning. I saw it instantly. Hyunwoo crossed his arms, thinking aloud, I guess someone must have drawn a duplicate copy of it. Curious, Hyunwoo asked, What's the selling price? His friend replied, $60,000. Hyunwoo gasped in shock. In God Wars, pricing took years to stabilize due to item variety, especially rare skill cards like Fireball. Each item required long-term observation and trading history before players could agree on a consistent market value. However, some items like rare skill cards became valuable immediately due to their rarity and overwhelming demand. Double Casting was one of them. Its auction listing instantly marked it as a highly sought treasure. Hyunwoo sighed, realizing his own card was the same. I stayed up all night for that. A sudden inbox notification blinked on his screen. Huh? He muttered, curiosity rising with each second. The executive questioned his colleague. What are you talking about? While walking across the spacious office floor. The new video deal for Grand Warlock streamer, he replied, referencing a contract worth over $12,000. Send it already, the manager nodded. What are the chances he beats the vagrant shaman solo? The analyst leaned back, amused. Almost impossible. It's tougher than the berserker orc, both in stats and behavior. But if we're right about his stubborn personality, what do you think he'll do? He smirked. He accepted the offer, sir, the assistant reported. The strategist smirked knowingly and asked, and then? He'd buy more items, he said. Probably spend most of it acquiring useful skills or consumable gear. In other words, he added, both sides keep investing, he gets stronger. We grow the brand. But why offer exactly $12,250? The assistant asked. Wouldn't $15,000 be more persuasive and generous? No, he replied. 15 implies he deserved more, but $12,250 makes him stop and really think. Hyun-woo examined the contract offer and smirked. They must have stretched their budget just for me. He leaned back, thinking, this company clearly wants a strong relationship smart tactic to increase cooperation willingly. He grinned, proud. See? A Wharton graduate knows how to use minor details during negotiations. Inside the game, Hyun-woo activated his gear. You have equipped the Berserker Orc set, the message displayed. As the bonus effects activated, he smiled faintly. I'd have gotten this gear regardless. It fits. Hyun-woo reasoned, at least equipment can be resold later. It's a smarter choice than skills. He nodded to himself in the shadows. Yes, it is. But then he hesitated again. A flash lit his hand. He had bought some skills too, despite earlier plans to avoid them. Looking at the skill cards, he groaned, I can't believe I wasted money on these. He hugged his wolf companion. Lucky, no matter what, we have to beat that monster ourselves. Hyun-woo said, I invested everything we earned not into luxury, but into skills and equipment. He knew the email offer wasn't random. They're testing me, seeing if I'm worth betting on. They want to know, he thought, gripping his staff, if Grand Warlock's streamer is really serious. This isn't just one deal, he realized. It's my chance to prove I can rise higher. Determined, he whispered, I'll do it alone. I'll slay that monster no matter what happens. Two adventurers paused as they heard footsteps approaching through the foggy woods. Huh? One muttered cautiously. They turned quickly, eyes widening. A caped figure was emerging from the shadows, calm, composed, and determined. You're from the Adventurers Guild, right? Hyun-woo asked, spotting their matching armor in the faint moonlight. One Knight blinked at the wolf beside him. A dog? For a mythical monster? Really? Recognition flashed across his face. Oh, he must be the Grand Warlock streamer guy, he whispered nervously. Hyun-woo stepped forward and asked calmly, Yes, is there a problem? The knights froze, slightly nervous. No, none at all, one quickly replied. Hyun-woo smiled. Great, the guild's support helps day and night. The knights stared awkwardly. Is he being sarcastic? One whispered. They remembered not to upset him. The guild had warned them, don't mess with him. He might become an important client someday. Hyun-woo rummaged through his pouch, pulling out glowing potions. These aren't much, but I hope they help. Hyun-woo handed over the bottles. They're just fatigue potions, nothing fancy, he said with a shrug. I'd offer you coffee, he grinned. But since we're underground, this is the next best thing. One Knight whispered, Aren't these expensive? His companion nodded silently, glancing between the potion and Hyun-woo's calm smile. No need to be guarded, Hyun-woo said. Just my way of appreciating a safe gaming environment. From the shadows, whispers echoed. Is that a mythical creature with guild members? Yeah, it's the streamer. A group nearby whispered. He seems real close with those Adventurers Guild jerks. Suspiciously close, even. They grumbled quietly. No wonder he leveled up fast, he's clearly using their VIP support system. Another added, anyone messing with him could get in serious trouble if the guild steps in. Hyun-woo laughed loudly, knowing exactly what people around him were thinking. It went perfectly to plan. Smirking internally, he thought, you fools. I gave potions publicly so they'd think exactly that way. Hyun-woo smirked. Now they think I'm protected by the Adventurers Guild. That illusion is useful. He thought, this reputation buys me time. Without it, others would have attacked already to test me. But the lie won't last more than a week, he admitted. I have to move quickly. Screams echoed through the woods. Adventurers fled. Time's running too fast, one shouted. Where did our scout go? A massive roar shook the ground. A terrifying beast emerged, eyes locked on the fleeing group. Dark energy swirled as a monstrous hand emerged from the void, radiating death. No! Someone screamed. A devastating explosion erupted in purple light, shaking the battlefield as panic spread through the fleeing adventurers. Shrieking figures emerged, twisted creatures bearing skulls and weapons, eyes glowing red, advancing toward the terrified survivors. Lightning split the sky as Hyunwoo unleashed his spell, scattering the monstrous horde in a blinding flash. Without hesitation, he conjured a fiery spear, his eyes locked on the advancing zombie orc commander. The spear pierced the creature's chest, and it collapsed with a howl, another victory for Hyunwoo. Breathing heavily, he smirked. These skills were worth every coin. 1 hit per monster. Perfection. A sudden alert blinked. His mana dipped below 10%, and Hyunwoo frowned, already feeling his strength wane. Hyunwoo gulped down a mana potion, wiping his mouth. His resources were draining far too quickly. He examined the bottle, frowning. Double casting drains mana fast. These potions aren't cheap, he muttered seriously. Just then, his wolf companion Lucky bit into a zombie, ripping it apart in one swift motion. A system alert popped up. Hyunwoo leveled up to 30, feeling strength and mana fully restored instantly. He blinked in disbelief, realizing he didn't need to drink that expensive potion a moment earlier. The system offered Hyunwoo a card draw. He sighed, thinking it might ease his irritation. Cards spread before him in glowing light. He scanned them, eyes locking on something different unusual. A red-bordered card glowed faintly. Oh, there's a unique one, he said, curiosity rising in his voice. He considered the fight ahead. I don't need more spells, but more options couldn't hurt. Glancing at Lucky, who stood ready beside him, he nodded. Right, Lucky. Let's do this. Hyunwoo stared at the card. Strength, he muttered, confused. It wasn't what he expected at all. The card description confirmed it. Enhanced physical power, not a magic upgrade, just raw brute force. He blinked, still surprised. Strength? He repeated aloud, unsure how that would help his magical build. He recalled the Warlock class hybrid traits, magic and physical. Maybe it's better than I first thought. Looking at Lucky, he sighed. Still, I wonder, do I actually have any use for this? Hyunwoo stared at the strength card again. Wait, he whispered, sensing a potential tactical benefit. He realized something. If applied right, this card could extend my casting range. That changes everything. With a confident breath, he confirmed the choice. A soft glow signaled the card activation process. A massive arc of energy sliced through the air, catching an approaching zombie completely off guard. A nearby warrior spotted the scene and shouted, "Is that the final zombie coming straight at us?" The archer readied his shot. "That zombie's the last one," he declared with quiet confidence. The swordsman nodded. "Remember the ambush last time? Let's not take chances again." The archer reassured them. "I used my eagle eye, scanned everything within 50 meters completely clear." He lowered his bow slightly. "That's the final zombie. We're safe. No threats left at all." Suddenly, the zombie roared and an explosion erupted behind it, catching everyone off guard. The warrior shouted, "Was that a fireball? You said nothing else was nearby." The archer scanned again, confused. "There isn't, at least not within the 50-meter radius I checked." Another teammate stepped forward. "None of us used fire-type spells, so where did it come from?" The swordsman frowned. "Then someone else cast it, from beyond our scan range." A distant figure stood alone in the forest shadows. Their presence was felt before they even spoke. Hyunwoo grinned. "I can't believe I hit the target from over 50 meters away." He recalled his doubts. "I almost skipped strength, but it boosts spell range too? That's unexpected." Standing proudly, he declared, It's perfect paired with Long Toss, Dragon's Eye, and Ballista solid synergy. Lucky pounced and finished a zombie orc. Hyunwoo smiled. Even Lucky got a strength bonus. Looking over the battlefield, he chuckled. Guess I'll need to recalculate everything from here on. Hyunwoo paused to think. My attack range is close to 100 meters now. That's insane. He glanced at Lucky. With that power backing me up, wait a second. A sudden thought hit him. Is defeating the vagrant shaman supposed to feel this effortless? Far off in the mist, a scream echoed, "Ah! Why are you doing this to me?" Elsewhere, a young warrior was grabbed, panic clear on his face as his grip tightened. The warrior growled, "You stole our target, didn't you?" His party glared with narrowed eyes. The accused boy protested, "You walked in on me! I stayed put, didn't hunt elsewhere!" One shouted, "Owl, do something! We can't let this go!" The group's tension quickly escalated. Owl rolled his eyes. "This is pointless! Who here can one-shot a zombie orc?" Nearby, someone whispered, "The Grand Warlock streamer is soloing the vagrant shaman right now." Eyes widened in disbelief. "Wait, he's the guy who soloed the berserker orc?" One adventurer shouted in disbelief. "Yeah, War TV's been talking about him non-stop." Another added, eyes wide with excitement. "Dang, let's go watch him in action." They turned, energy shifting from anger to awe. Meanwhile, Hyunwoo tapped the record button. The stream was about to start, audience included. He smiled at the camera. "Hello everybody, this is Grand Warlock Streamer." His voice was calm. Hyunwoo activated his targeting. Wind stirred as his magic locked onto the distant undead figure. He whispered to himself, "Today I'm going to kill the vagrant shaman by myself," he finished, watching the undead enemy raise its cursed staff. With a calm breath, he grinned. "To make things more interesting, I'll try killing it without getting hit at all." Lightning sparked around him as battle began. Hyunwoo launched forward, fire and lightning bursting from his hands as spells raced through the air. The fiery projectile shot toward the vagrant shaman, igniting the path in a blinding streak. It struck its mark. The explosion rocked the area, flames engulfing the enemy in burning light. The shaman howled in pain, flames licking its face as it stumbled backward in surprise. Hyunwoo grinned, energy building around him. "Here we go," he said, eyes locked on his target. The vagrant shaman raised his staff, purple energy surging around him in an ominous rising pulse. Dark power erupted violently, shaking the ground. Rocks cracked as a monstrous force burst forth with a scream. Dark energy swirled as the undead skull rose, summoned by a warlock among the monsters. The cursed skull hovered above the battlefield, its violet flames pulsing with power and malevolent intent. It suddenly darted through the air, eyes glowing, seeking a target with eerie, intelligent precision. A white wolf, sensing danger, leapt forward with a bark, its instincts honed from countless battles. The wolf lunged and sank its fangs into a monster's neck, stopping the ambush mid-attack. The monster charged with a growl, but the wolf leaped forward, aiming straight for its throat. Mid-air, the wolf flipped skillfully, dodging attacks and repositioning itself behind the distracted enemy group. It bit down hard on the caster's arm, breaking its focus and halting the spell. "Nice. Lucky is getting in the way of its spell casting," the warlock thought with urgency. With double casting active, he launched Ice Arrow and Lightning Bolt, striking both enemies with precision. He noticed the monster enduring Lightning Bolt. Its resistance meant a normal strategy wouldn't bring it down. Another strike hit, but the enemy barely flinched. "It must be twice as strong as the others." The warlock dashed forward mid-cast, activating long cast, and burst to release a powerful magical combination. He shouted, "You'll see how much stronger I've become," as flames surged through his outstretched hands. With a massive roar and searing heat, the fire spell exploded on impact, engulfing the enemy instantly. The monster let out a final scream as fire consumed it completely, leaving nothing but ash. A loud thud echoed through the trees, signaling the end of the battle's final blow. The warlock raised his orb, scanning the area cautiously, unsure if any threats remained nearby. An old woman, hidden in shadows, trembled with fear as the forest returned to silence. Two men behind cover hissed, "Stay hidden, damn it!" worried she might expose their position too soon. The old woman apologized, startled by the chaos. She stumbled nervously as the others scolded her. The Warlock's sword burned bright in anchor mode. His focus stayed sharp, unaware of eyes watching. Hidden, the green-armored man grinned. "He's busy. That shaman drops loot. We can't miss this chance." Confidently, he added, "We'll land the final blow. I know his cooldowns. The monster's already transitioned." Suddenly, a haunting screech erupted. The dark shaman rose again, engulfed in sinister violet-black energy. The grinning man whispered, "Get ready. When the shaman triggers zombie call, that's our chance." Zombie call would draw nearby undead to the shaman, turning them hostile against all nearby players. Their plan was simple: strike the shaman while the streamer distracted the incoming wave of zombies. Purple winds howled as dozens of field zombies began rushing toward the battle from every direction. The Warlock, noticing the shift, muttered, "Phew! We've entered the third phase." He prepared for chaos. The Warlock smirked. "I didn't expect to deal so much damage. Let's stretch a bit." He raised his voice playfully. "Hey, viewers, stretch too." He knew someone was planning a backstab. Internally, he thought, they're waiting to steal the final blow. Too predictable. No loot for them. Darkness swirled around him. "Time for my secret move," he whispered. "My fifth magic spell." Behind the trees, one attacker chuckled. "Look at that fool. He doesn't know we're finishing this." The man froze, confused. A sudden movement caught his eye. His enemy had just started running. He stuttered, What?" as the Warlock dashed toward the front lines with no warning at all. "Why the hell is he charging forward?" he yelled, eyes wide in disbelief at the recklessness. The Warlock launched into the air. "Is that an—" the man started before hearing a loud bark. With a brutal swing, the Warlock's axe struck the shaman, cutting through defenses. The zombies shrieked. With a final swing, the Warlock's axe struck deep, silencing the shaman in a single blow. Watching from afar, one thief panicked. "He's using an axe! We'll never make it in time!" He questioned, "A magician using brute force? How can he land blows like that with an axe?" The Warlock wiped sweat away. A system message popped up. "You have earned the Vagrant Shaman Slayer." He grinned proudly. "Axe hacking with buffed strength. Like it? Thanks for watching, guys." He stood, victorious and alone. The Warlock smiled. "Oh, I forgot to thank the Adventurers Guild for verifying the achievement." He turned to the shadows. "Thanks for watching. I hope the battle wasn't boring for you." One thief panicked. "The Adventurers Guild? If we get caught, we might need to abandon our characters." Hidden observers commented, "No wonder he pulled this off. He's clearly got guild backing and deep pockets." The two would-be thieves fled. From a distance, the Warlock smirked. "It worked," he whispered triumphantly. Grinning, the Warlock laughed to himself. "My scarecrows scared them off just as I planned." Later, he strolled through the bustling town, surrounded by friendly NPCs and a clear blue sky. Inside, a silver-haired girl turned, surprised. "You finally returned?" she said, voice filled with concern. She knelt and embraced the wolf gently, while the Warlock stood silently, thinking through everything. Trembling slightly, he exhaled. "Wow, I was so scared. I'm glad my scarecrow trick worked." He clenched his fist tightly, pride swelling. "I managed to kill a boss monster by myself." Eyes shining, he whispered, "I really did it." The moment felt more real than any before. Shaleen asked, "You there, did you complete what I asked you to do?" She looked curious. He nodded quickly, calling up his inventory. "Yes, Shaleen, hold on. I brought back something strange." Holding it up, he added, "This stone seems to be responsible for the forest's curse." A system message confirmed, "You have handed the cursed stone to Shalin." His quest progressed. The stone hovered above Shaleen's palm, pulsing ominously as she focused her energy to examine it. Suddenly, it flared with bright green light. Her eyes narrowed. Something was definitely wrong with its reaction. It began to fizzle violently, leaking energy. He watched nervously, unsure if it might explode or corrupt. Clenching his gemmed hand, he braced for anything. Whatever happened next, he had to be ready. Shaleen examined the stone's glow. Her expression softened. "Good. This seems to be right," she said. With a flick of her fingers, she summoned a glowing item shaped by magical green flames. The swirling energy spun mid-air, forming a weapon, and gracefully flew in the Warlock's direction. He caught it in both hands. "What's this stick?" he asked, staring at the strange object. A system message appeared. Shaleen's staff, a rare magical item with powerful stats and spell enhancements. The Warlock marveled at the gift. "This is wild," he said, holding the staff excitedly. Shaleen nodded. "This stone fragment defies my mana. Do you know what this means?" He rubbed the staff's handle. "Does that mean the fragment still belongs to someone out there?" "Yes," she replied seriously. "It means the item is still linked to its true owner." With focus in her voice, she looked ahead. "I need to make a compass," Shaleen instructed him calmly. "Go to Dorito Mine and find Zaga, the blacksmith." A quest began. The city skyline glimmered under morning sun as executives prepared for a crucial entertainment industry meeting. A sudden email notification arrived from Grand Warlock Streamer Entertainment, catching everyone's attention in the office. It included a video file and a note. "I hope this leads to good results." The assistant, nervous but curious, asked what that meant while glancing at the message again. The blonde executive frowned, realizing the message was a challenge, a test of their ability. The assistant hesitated, unsure of the deeper meaning behind the video and his superior's question. "Watch closely," the executive said calmly. "Compare this with his berserker orc kill. What's different here?" The assistant analyzed the footage. "New skills," he noted, then paused. "Most importantly, he's using double casting." "Last bid for double casting hit 100,000, the executive said. Then the seller disappeared. He leaned in, smirking. Someone must have made a better offer privately. The assistant gasped, eyes widening instantly. The executive's grin widened as the assistant gasped in realization, beginning to connect the critical dots. "Are you saying that person was Grand Warlock Streamer?" the assistant stammered, unable to mask his shock. "Bingo," the executive replied. He clapped once, displaying footage of Grand Warlock Streamer using devastating magic attacks. He accepted our private offer, invested over 100,000, and delivered the promised solo kill video. Remember his final sentence? He pointed at the screen. What do you think he meant by that? The assistant finally understood. The video wasn't for fame, it was a message, a signal. The executive smiled. That sentence was a hint. He wants us to recognize his deeper intentions. "Wait, you mean he's not just submitting footage?" the assistant asked, confused by the hidden meaning. "He wants us to sponsor him," the executive clarified, "and push him forward as our top player." The title screen appeared. Grand Warlock Streamer. A new era in gaming had just officially begun. The arena had no roaming monsters. Players couldn't grind here. Progress required entering the dangerous dungeons. These dungeons were instanced, only triggered near the mine entrance. No party meant no entry period. This system forced teamwork. Solo players unable to find parties were effectively excluded from progression entirely. Joining a party wasn't enough. The lowest performing member would automatically be removed mid-run. Porto Mine was more than a grind zone. It filtered serious players from the unprepared masses. He remembered the past vividly every time a party ran. He was always the one excluded. Now he walked alone but confidently. Firelight reflecting his resolve. Things had definitely changed since then. As metal struck anvil, a system message appeared. The main quest involving the cursed stone began. Zga, the burly dwarf blacksmith, looked up from his forge, surprised someone had finally sought him out. The adventurer bowed respectfully. "I'm here seeking Lady Samantha's recommendation. I believe you can help me." He explained the task clearly. He needed a compass crafted from the cursed stone, urgently. Zga smirked at the mention of Shaleen. Her reputation, it seemed, had reached even the mines. The adventurer chuckled, brushing it off. "Oh no, not at all." He lied with a grin. Zga teased him again. Certain Shaleen had issued non-stop demands typical of her style, he said. Despite the teasing, the adventurer spoke honestly. He trusted Shaleen's judgment, even when her tasks were hard. Zaga laughed heartily, praising the adventurer's manners, a rare trait among those who usually visited him. He pulled out a pendant and explained it was crafted from soul metal, unique to this region. The pendant shimmered. It could detect the user's mana and react accordingly, making it highly sensitive. The adventurer asked if he needed to mine the soul metal himself. Zaga shook his head. Relieved, the adventurer grinned widely. For the first time, he genuinely liked a dwarf this one. Zaga smiled warmly, but quickly added a condition: the adventurer must clear dungeons to ensure safety. His cheerful tone masked the burden he placed. Just a few dungeons, a suspicious understatement. Alone under the night sky, the adventurer grumbled. That supposed bond? It vanished fast with conditions. He mumbled, mocking Zaga's name. It sounded odd and annoying after being given such a chore. Grumbling louder, he questioned the number 111 dungeons. Why not 100? Was Ja trolling him? Sighing in resignation, he gave up complaining. Might as well record his solo dungeon runs now. He noticed Lucky, his companion, suddenly acting strange, ears up, alert, eyes fixed on something unseen. Lucky, are you, huh? He muttered, watching the wolf stare ahead with intense focus and excitement. The wolf barked once, clearly trying to get his attention. Something nearby had definitely triggered it. The adventurer smiled, curious now. What is it? He asked, sensing they'd just found something important. Grinning, he hugged Lucky tightly. You'll carry me? And I won't lift a finger? Amazing! They reached a dark tunnel. Before entering, the adventurer prepared to buff Lucky with every helpful potion. He activated the strength skill, surrounding Lucky in flame-like energy, then began feeding him powerful stat boosters. Lucky gulped down the mushroom, herb, and fruit potion. Strength, stamina, and speed temporarily surged within him. Despite all preparations, doubt crept in. The adventurer felt uncertain. Lucky's evolution requirement had clearly changed again. The evolution quest appeared. Lucky must defeat 99 stronger monsters solo to unlock new powers. The adventurer was shocked. That's cruel, he muttered, realizing Lucky had to fight without any help. Still, he prepared a spell just in case he'd protect Lucky even if it risked evolution. 2 kobold miners emerged from the darkness. Lucky growled, instincts flaring as he prepared for battle. With one clean strike, Lucky bit into a kobold's neck. His first solo kill was complete. Watching closely, the adventurer began to relax. Huh? Maybe Lucky really can handle this alone. Lucky snarled and turned quickly, blue eyes glowing with sharp focus as danger approached from behind. The kobold froze in panic, but it was too late to react to Lucky's deadly fangs. With a powerful bite, Lucky dropped his second target. Another clean kill was now recorded. The adventurer sighed in relief. Okay, Lucky, he said calmly, dismissing his spell. You've got this. The adventurer shouted, Let's go! And Lucky barked, both racing toward the final dungeon without hesitation. The system confirmed it. Lucky had defeated the 99th monster needed to complete his evolution quest. The adventurer grinned. Finally, the 99th monster. All the preparation and hard work was paying off. Divine energy surged through Lucky as light engulfed him. His form began to glow and change. The adventurer watched as menus appeared. Good, he said calmly. He evolved. Now to pick his skill. The adventurer searched through the skill options, eyes widening. Now, if only I find something useful. He spotted it. Swift attack, a legendary skill card. Perfect! Increased power and speed for Lucky. As Lucky howled proudly, the adventurer laughed. Maybe I should start a channel for Lucky instead. Beneath the quiet moonlight, Hyunwoo stood still, overlooking the crater left by the dungeon's collapse. 2 nearby adventurers watched curiously as Hyunwoo knelt, embracing his mythical beast with silent, trembling arms. Tears streamed down his cheeks. They questioned softly, Is he crying? Right after finishing the dungeon? He whispered proudly, 9 seconds flat, remembering Lucky's devastating strike. His voice cracked, overwhelmed with raw emotion. With one swift bite, Lucky had torn through a kobold miner, ending the fight in seconds. With a sharp salute and gleaming eyes, Hyunwoo pledged loyalty to Lucky for their shared victories. Lucky barked confidently, then froze. His nose twitched, detecting a faint, strange scent carried by the breeze. A glowing portal shimmered into view. Lucky had discovered a hidden dungeon nestled within the mountain's shadow. Hyunwoo grinned wide, excitement rising. "A hidden dungeon? That's perfect," he said, eyes gleaming with determination. Hoisting Lucky onto his back, Hyunwoo declared, "Let's go!" While others stared, baffled by the odd scene. Two players watched from afar, muttering that Hyunwoo's progress was just luck and overpowered summons. They laughed mockingly, convinced his success came from exploiting game mechanics, not true strength or effort. Unbothered, Hyunwoo entered the hidden mine dungeon, focused only on the challenge and rewards ahead. Meanwhile, in the real world, employees at a media firm monitored the game's latest viral upload. A blonde analyst scrolled, puzzled. Warlock streamer? Weird name. Why's it pulling such high numbers already? The manager asked about the video's performance. The blonde analyst shrugged, annoyed by the strange title. He showed a growing chart. "It's pulling viewers steadily," he said. "Even Wars TV linked to it." He added, "That Berserker fight video? He uploaded it himself before it went viral at Wars." The manager was stunned. Why would anyone use personal funds just to spread basic gaming rumors? The analyst paused, then said, "Exactly. How did he reach major outlets on his first day?" The manager grew nervous, shaking slightly, unsure how to respond to such bold and confident logic. The analyst explained, "Tabloids chase gossip, sure, but that's exactly what boosts a name into recognition fast." He continued, "Honestly, if reputation's the goal, tabloids build it quicker than traditional channels ever could." He turned calmly, adding, "If that's really his plan, we'll probably see another case just like him." Suddenly, an assistant rushed in, panicked. Sir!" he cried, catching the analyst's attention mid-thought and stopping him cold. An assistant shouted urgently, "Sir, you need to see this now, it's blowing up fast!" A streamer post was gaining attention. Comments flooded in, surprised at the sudden rise in popularity. The message hit hard. Someone had perfectly analyzed Hyunwoo's gameplay, exposing both skill and potential strategy. Viewers praised Hyunwoo's genius, comparing him to a legendary player who once reshaped the competitive world. The manager narrowed his eyes, muttering, "Is this really some newcomer, or something far bigger unfolding?" The analyst admitted, "Sure, unexplored areas exist in God Wars, but that's not the real issue." He leaned forward, eyes sharp. "The fact people believe it's true, that's what really matters here." Even top commenter Asmo reacted in disbelief, shocked by an item he'd never seen before. "Think logically," the analyst said. "Would someone like Asmo comment just for fun without a reason?" "No," he added. "Asmo follows real value. He wouldn't track our channel unless something impressed him." Someone suggested Asmo's comment wasn't random. It may have answered a question asked by someone close. The theory emerged. Maybe that friend was actually the Grand Warlock streamer under a disguised identity. If not, then someone close to both must have connected them. Either way, the link is clear. The analyst smiled confidently. "We've lost nothing by watching him. My assumptions are already being challenged." The manager finally spoke. "Send him a new email. He's not small, he's a big opportunity." The manager declared, "Tell him we'll split the video profits 60 for us, 40 for him." The analyst slammed the desk, thrilled. He already knew this was a smart play with leverage. Grinning slyly, he added, "Of course, we'll take 40. His tone hinted at deeper expectations. The other staff member gasped. "But sir, this deal leaves us with barely any gain." Unfazed, the analyst replied calmly, "I assure you, once he sees the offer, he won't refuse." The analyst stood tall, confident. "Grand Warlock streamer will exceed everything we've prepared to support him," he added. "What's coming next will completely outshine the platform we're giving him right now." Meanwhile, Hyunwoo stretched outside a hunter's cafe, focused. "At this rate, I'll clear Lucky's dungeon soon." A co-worker spotted him slacking. "Hey, You missed out again. I even cleaned everything without you. Hyunwoo grinned guiltily. Sorry, I was watching a video. His mind clearly still inside the game world. A coworker nudged Hyunwoo, phone in hand. Something hot just came up, he said quickly. Hyunwoo turned, curious. Yeah? What is it? He asked, sensing something exciting had just dropped online. Rising Star TV just posted a solo kill video. Berserker Orc taken down single-handed, the coworker said. Hyunwoo smiled instinctively, already knowing whose video it was. His coworker asked, Does it have views? It'll hit 1 million easy, the coworker nodded. Hyunwoo's eyes widened. 1 million? That's because, he started. Hyunwoo's eyes widened. Asmo commented? He gasped, his voice tight with panic and disbelief. He said he's never seen the item before. The words echoed in Hyunwoo's panicked mind. It was the Goblin Shaman's staff, Hyunwoo's hidden dungeon reward now revealed to the entire gaming world. But it was also a main quest item, one only a solo God Wars tester had. Hyunwoo buried his head. I made a mistake. Outside, someone shouted, Wham! Geez, calm down! Hyunwoo paced nervously. I accidentally left clues about the main scenario. That's what exposed everything. He crouched in frustration. But why would someone like Asmo comment on such a small video? A chilling thought struck. Someone must have asked Asmo directly, testing if he recognized the rare item. Hyunwoo's heart sank. Someone out there is hunting for the main scenario. They noticed my mistake. He froze mid-step. Wait a minute, he whispered, eyes widening as realization began to settle in. Hyunwoo searched nervously, muttering, Since that happened, Rising Star would definitely want to continue things. Moments later, he confirmed his suspicion. An email arrived offering new terms for their profit split deal. They want me to take 60%? Hyunwoo whispered, stunned. He clenched his fist in surprise. He relaxed. Okay, no one's figured out the main scenario yet, he reassured himself quietly. Hyunwoo's confidence returned. Even if they learn, it'll take time. I can do this. Hyunwoo stepped forward with resolve. They set the stage, but he wouldn't go down without fighting. A monstrous roar shook the dungeon as a level 42 molehound burst out from shadows. A system prompt offered the rabbit hole skill triggered more frequently when HP fell below 60%. Hyunwoo, gripping his crystal staff, stood firm. Most players would struggle clearing a dungeon like this. The molehound vanished again into a tunnel, emerging unpredictably and attacking with fierce, deadly precision. But Hyunwoo smirked confidently, eyes glowing. He anticipated the beast's path, ready to strike first. Hyunwoo stared into the shifting tunnel, calm and focused. He knew where the hound would emerge. He recalled the monster's movement pattern, how it always reappeared near the arched opening to strike. Darkness stirred. With steady hands, Hyunwoo conjured mana, forming a bright arrow of freezing power. Ice arrow! He shouted. The glowing shot launched, striking the tunnel beast before it could escape. With the dungeon cleared, the system confirmed. Hyunwoo had earned the title, Snow Molehound Slayer. After clearing the dungeon, Hyunwoo received a new reward, the chance to select a skill card. He scanned the options carefully: Chain Lightning, Prison Ball, and then paused with interest Lightning Shield. Choosing Lightning Shield, a prompt explained its unique effect. Enemies touching it would be electrocuted instantly. Hyunwoo smiled at Lucky. With added strength and spirit attack, the wolf could electrify enemies faster. Analyzing strategy, Hyunwoo clenched his fist. What if I add haste too? That could change everything. Hyunwoo paused, eyes narrowing. A new plan formed in his mind, sharper than before. He turned to Lucky, smirking. We could even try breaking the speedrun record, he said. To do that, he added thoughtfully, we'll need one more thing: the haste skill. Haste increased movement and casting speed. With it, Hyunwoo believed they could clear dungeons under 8 seconds. But acquiring haste meant spending tons of gold, a steep cost for a big advantage in God Wars. Hyunwoo activated the terminal. As Lucky watched, his body glowed, logging him back into the game. The Grand Warlock streamer login screen appeared, confirming his return to God Wars once again. His form reappeared in-game. Lucky rushed to greet him, tail wagging with excitement and anticipation. Hyunwoo exhaled. Ha! It cost me 6,000,001, he muttered, eyes fixed on the screen. Grinning, he examined the new skill card Kresnik, passive, worth 4 months of his family's living expenses. Hyunwoo gently patted Lucky's head, admitting he had spent extra on an auxiliary skill too. Confident and prepared, he whispered, "We're ready to take on the speedrun challenge." Eyes locked ahead. A system message confirmed, Rebelled Military Mine Dungeon unlocked, a zone known for speedrun attempts. The dungeon, low-level and located in the Ponko mine, was commonly used for challenge records. The current record flashed on screen 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Hyunwoo aimed to beat that mark. The current dungeon's speedrun record was held by a swordmaster named Yoram Rolian, a fierce competitor. Yoram wielded the rare sword Emperor class and ranked in the top 5 players worldwide. But the record was set years ago, plenty of time for someone else to rise. Hyunwoo activated the strength skill for Lucky, then boosted it with additional spirit and haste. Lucky, glowing bright, consumed stacked buffs ready to exceed limits with pure physical power and agility. Lucky consumed the wind fruit, gaining a temporary 12% boost to movement speed before the run. Hyunwoo reached forward, pressing the record button every moment of the challenge would be broadcast live. Facing the camera with a grin, he greeted viewers. "Hello, everybody. It's Grand Warlock Streamer," he announced. "Today we're going to attempt a speedrun challenge here at a forgotten mine entrance." Eyes gleaming with resolve, he added, "But this time," hinting at something bold and different ahead. Hyunwoo declared to the viewers, "This time Lucky will clear the dungeon alone, completely solo." Lucky looked back, confused but eager, his paws thudding against the stone as he sprinted forward. Hyunwoo gave one final command, "Swift attack!" just as Lucky's aura burst with golden energy. With explosive force, Lucky darted down the corridor, surrounded by streaks of speed-enhanced lightning energy. Ahead, startled enemies turned toward the noise, unaware a golden blur was already upon them. Lucky struck the kobold with force. Lightning shield activated, stunning the target with a crackling jolt. The system confirmed. Lightning shield was in effect. The kobold was briefly paralyzed, unable to react. Without hesitation, Lucky landed a finishing blow, slaying the kobold miner before it could recover or scream. Hyunwoo observed from afar, arms crossed. "Good start," he murmured, watching Lucky clear the path swiftly. Suddenly, a new kobold shrieked and charged. Hyunwoo blinked, dodging casually. "Oops," he muttered, barely amused. Hyunwoo reminded viewers, "I know I've said it before, I'm not attacking anything this time." He waved off the idea, flipping a kobold's drop away. Not even looting dropped items today. Meanwhile, Lucky charged ahead and pounced, slaying another kobold with relentless speed and clean execution. The system announced the kill. Lucky growled, glowing with energy, already searching for the next target. Watching the pace, Hyunwoo smiled wide. "He's going faster than I expected," he said, impressed. Hyunwoo heard a chime. He glanced up, confused by the system alert flashing before him. The words "fastest record" lit up. His eyes widened, stunned. Did Lucky actually break the record? A second alert confirmed it. Dungeon cleared. Hyunwoo stood in shock at how fast it happened. Lucky howled in triumph, still glowing from his empowered state as energy radiated around his frame. Hyunwoo realized something. But swift attack hasn't even ended yet. Lucky finished early faster than the skill's duration. The system detailed Lucky's swift attack, a golden aura boost to attack power and speed. In real life, Lucky happily obeyed commands, unaware of his recent speedrun fame in the game. At work, Hyunwoo returned from break. A colleague glanced up, concerned by his weary appearance. "You're all sweaty," the coworker noted. Hyunwoo replied softly, "I'm fine, just feeling off but recovering." Sighing, the coworker smiled. "Games are fun, but your health matters way more than any match." Hyunwoo nodded slowly, hands trembling. His heart pounded from disbelief as the reality began to sink in. Sweat trickled down his face. "I actually broke the swordsman's record," he muttered, eyes wide. The clear screen flashed. "Cleared for M⁰1 S." Lucky's golden form blazed on the result screen. I even have a video to prove it, he whispered, sighing in relief, still amazed. With a small smile, he decided, okay, it's time to send the video to Rising Star. From the city high-rise, a manager noted rising views and subscribers, but his boss looked uneasy. The executive stared at his monitor. It's not about that. It's about the bait I offered. His colleague asked, You mean the new revenue split? It benefits him, but we're losing out. I told you, it's bait, the boss repeated, flicking a pen like casting a lure underwater. Grand Warlock streamer might feel like he's being handled as a product. He could take offense. The assistant raised an eyebrow. But he did send an email, he said, slightly confused. Hearing that, the executive jumped up from his seat, energized. The bait worked, he exclaimed triumphantly. The assistant looked closer at the screen. He sent 2 videos, sir, he reported curiously. Both men leaned in. One's the record run. What's the other? A provocation? They guessed anxiously. The VR pods hissed open. Hyunwoo slowly stirred, stepping out after a long, immersive gaming session. Stretching his arms, he exhaled with relief. His muscles ached, but his mind was still racing. Looking around, he blinked in confusion. Huh? Where's everybody? The training bay was strangely quiet and empty. He wandered down the hallway. Are they all in the break room? He muttered, curiosity growing steadily. Pushing open the door, he saw everyone glued to their screens. Is there a scandal or what? Hyunwoo's eyes widened as he recognized the thumbnail. That's my video, he shouted inside his thoughts. He saw the title clearly. Grand Warlock Streamer. It was uploaded to the Rising Star channel. Aha! He grinned. They finally edited and posted it. Now people will see what I did. Hyunwoo! A teammate burst out. Your Grand Warlock Streamer video dropped and it's blowing up everywhere. Hyunwoo blinked. Wait, viral? Did Asmo comment on it or something crazy like that again? Yes, Hyunwoo chuckled nervously. Yeah, there's no way someone like Asmo would actually say yes. He paused mid-thought. Wait, did you say yes? His voice cracked as realization slowly began sinking in. On screen, Asmo's comment was clear. Where does he get these things? Thousands had liked it. Hyunwoo froze, eyes wide. His knees gave out. Thud. His mind spiraled. How is this happening? Trembling, he whispered, Why's Asmo looking at my videos? Coworkers rushed over, shocked by his breakdown. Asmo is scrutinizing every item I have, Hyunwoo thought, dread rising fast with each passing second. Another coworker confirmed, Other streamers are reacting too. Hyunwoo realized this wasn't just attention, it was exposure. If Asmo keeps highlighting my uploads, more people will notice and analyze everything I've ever used. Panic hit him. It's only a matter of time before I'm targeted. I need to escape. He stood up suddenly. Hyukjin, prep my capsule now. I have to leave. No time to eat. I'm fine, Hyunwoo said, forcing a smile. Maybe I'll just have something sugary. Got any candy? His coworker dug through the drawer and said, I ran out. We only have these left. He raised his hand, revealing a few candies wrapped tightly. Glucose candies, only these are left. Hyunwoo frowned, unimpressed. Ooh, those suck. Why do you even still keep them around? Blushing, his coworker replied, The main character in a novel eats them. I even put them in coffee. Hyunwoo climbed into the capsule and muttered, Fine. Give me what you've got, God Wars. A golden sky emerged. The system message blinked. Logging in to God Wars. The world reopened. Inside the rocky canyon, an NPC greeted him warmly. Oh, you're finally back, the old warrior said. The warrior chuckled, proud. Good work. His voice echoed off the cave walls, rough but respectful. Hyunwoo nodded. I gathered soul materials while you cleared the mines. Lucky also got much stronger too. The warrior held out a necklace. The pendant is ready. Just attach it with the item. Hyunwoo nodded. Okay, then I'll get going, he said with resolve, saluting respectfully before turning away. There's no time, he thought, urgency rising in his chest. I must leave quickly before others interfere. Green energy swirled. The teleport activated. Hyunwoo vanished in a flash as the warrior watched in silence. Emerging from the portal, Hyunwoo gasped. His eyes widened. "Shaolin?" he said, stunned by the location. Shaolin crossed her arms, annoyed. "Zaga, why did you summon me? I was resting." Hyunwoo answered firmly. "The pendant is ready. We need you to place the fragment into it." Without a word, Shaolin approached. Green energy surged as she activated her spell to retrieve the fragment. She lifted the glowing shard from the portal's core. Its light pulsed softly in her hand. With a flat tone, she warned, "Don't do anything stupid with it," and casually tossed it over. Zaga laughed. "Why would I do anything stupid? We share our soul's spark, remember that?" Shaolin scowled. "Exactly. Don't say anything stupid like that again." Her glare held both frustration and concern. Hyunwoo observed quietly. What are they saying? Is this bond something they didn't choose themselves? He pondered deeply. Do they have no choice but to cooperate even if they dislike each other? As the pendant activated, he thought, why would NPCs do all this just to help players? Zaga unlocked the pendant's seal. A metal point extended, signaling it was ready to guide them. Hyunwoo guessed, the main quest must involve helping NPCs find a weapon to destroy some god. The pendant floated, glowing. With a sudden motion, it launched forward, pulling itself to Hyunwoo's chest. Startled, Hyunwoo stumbled back. Ah! The pendant locked onto him. His role in the quest had just begun. Zaga and Shaolin calmly confirmed. North. No hesitation. Their direction was clear. His journey was already set. Zaga handed the pendant to Hyunwoo. Here, he said. The quest was finally complete. System notifications flooded in. Quest complete. You have leveled up again. He blinked at the rapid messages. Hyunwoo froze. I leveled up. 2 levels? Shock hit him harder than the system prompts did. Another message appeared. War Dragon has presented you with an opportunity. His heart skipped a beat. He tapped, receive later. Phew, all this excitement's bad for my heart. Let's finish the quest first. Hyunwoo stared, wide-eyed. You're giving me the pendant because... His voice trailed off with uncertainty. A system message appeared. Cursed pendant. It detailed its unique rank and bound connection to an unknown being. He hovered his hand over it. The stats popped up far beyond anything he had ever seen. Panicking, he stammered, This has better stats than a legendary item. How is that even possible? Shaolin sighed. Go where the pendant leads. You must do it. A new quest was triggered. The quest appeared. Follow the cursed pendant north to the swamp. Discover what lies hidden there. Hyunwoo's eyes widened. The reward is a legendary skill card book? His heart pounded with excitement. He clutched his chest. Calm down. I might get logged out if I overheat, he muttered nervously. To relax, he hugged Lucky tight. Nothing calms me down better than this fluffy companion. Peeking over Lucky's shoulder, he asked, Open the skill card reward now. Or wait. The system pinged again. War Dragon has presented an opportunity. Open skill card reward now? Hyunwoo didn't hesitate. Yes, he answered aloud. The cards glowed and began to spin into place. A golden flash erupted from one card. It flipped over and revealed its title, The Guardian. Hyunwoo blinked, surprised. Who knew it would pop up? He hadn't expected that one at all. Suddenly, Lucky howled loud. Awoo! The atmosphere shifted, and a grid of magic sealed around them both. The city lights flickered as midnight passed. Somewhere high above, a new plan was forming. A tired editor emerged, exhausted but proud. Sir, the video is done, he groaned through clenched teeth. With a nod, the blond man clicked his mouse. Beside him, his colleague watched silently, anticipating results. He selected the file, confident. The cursor hovered, then pressed down, launching a new stream of destiny. In-game, the Grand Warlock adjusted his cloak. We're speedrunning now, he said, eyes gleaming. This time different. Lucky, the Silver Wolf, stood tall and calm. He was going to solo the dungeon. The editors doubted it. No fox or beast had ever cleared the dungeon, let alone solo. How many views will this get? The blond man asked, confidence already rising in his eyes. The analyst smirked. Easily 2 million. No one's seen a beast challenge the swordsman's record before. Inside the Crimson Dungeon, only one mythical being had succeeded. Lucky now aimed to be the second. The video played smoothly. Despite its rushed production, the quality impressed even the toughest internal reviewers. The exhausted editor burst into tears. "Sir, completing this masterpiece in one day is unbelievable," the Warlock's voice returned. "Let's go over the rare item I used during the speed run." He addressed the fans directly. "Many asked about the item. Here's where you can find it." Elsewhere, the producer leaned back, satisfied. His lips curled into a smirk. 10 million views already. The editors smiled proudly. "The piece on Lucky's dungeon run is officially up," one of them said. The screen displayed the title, Grand Warlock Streamer. Viewers were already flooding in by thousands. Meanwhile, deep in the dungeon, a massive knight descended from the ceiling, radiating immense magical pressure. The Warlock held his position, knowing this knight wasn't just strong, it was built to counter sorcery. With Lucky beside him, he whispered, "It's called Castafall, a monster that devours magic and memories." The Warlock explained calmly, "That monster exists because summoning a guardian has strict and rare requirements. Most high-level monsters can't become guardians. The system blocks them from forming contracts with players," he added. "Also," he continued, "you need over 100 confirmed kills in your record to even qualify. That's why top-tier monsters like boss units or world bosses are nearly impossible to turn into guardians. However," he smirked, "once summoned, guardians can equip any player gear, even powerful, game-breaking legendary items." The guardian, armed in glowing armor and massive blade, was enhanced with rare top-tier legendary items. With the guardian taking damage, Lucky could now attack freely without worrying about defense or crowd control. Originally, the Warlock planned to summon a new guardian for tanking, but this one proved strong enough. He nodded at Lucky. "Let's prepare to move. We'll run the next phase together, stay close." Casting buffs for speed and power, the Warlock signaled, "Lucky, let's go." The real battle began now. At full speed, the Warlock exited the collapsing dungeon. The system confirmed his safe departure instantly. A blue flash shot across the night. "Target is on the move," a voice reported sharply. 3 pursuers watched from a cliff. "Who is he anyway? Why are we tracking just one?" one scoffed. "He's just a magician. We don't need all 3 of us for this." Their leader warned, "He's a high-level player. Be careful or end up shaking in fear later." One of the pursuers nodded. "You're right. Can't argue with that logic," he said, stepping back. Suddenly, the Warlock dashed forward with Lucky. No warning, no hesitation, just a sudden burst of motion. "Did he see us?" one whispered. "Why'd he start running out of nowhere like that?" Another laughed. "Magicians aren't fast. Even if he runs, what difference will it really make?" The leader raised an eyebrow. "Do we chase now or wait for him to wear himself out?" One of the masked men opened his mouth. "Hey," he muttered, watching the Warlock vanish fast. The leader's eyes widened in shock. "We're screwed," he admitted, finally sensing something was seriously off. "What?" the others asked, confused until they saw the Warlock blitzing across terrain at impossible speed. "I said we're screwed," he repeated, panic rising. The magician wasn't running, he was breaking limits. They tried to keep up, but he was gone in seconds. "He's extremely fast!" one shouted. The Warlock narrowed his eyes and shouted, "Lucky, stop!" They had gained enough distance for now. Lucky immediately turned around, responding with a bark. He was quick, but always followed his partner. Breathing steady, the Warlock glanced behind. "They can't keep up," he muttered, watching the empty ridgeline. He smiled, gripping a pendant around his neck. "With this equipped, they'll never catch me." The pendant, cursed and powerful, enhanced his speed, agility, and recovery. It made pursuit nearly impossible. The Warlock smiled, satisfied. "No one's chasing us now. I've got time to move freely." He gently patted Lucky. "Your debut video will be online soon. You've done well today, partner." Grinning, he teased, 10 million views means more items. Think you can earn us another reward?" Lucky barked confidently. The Warlock laughed and nodded. "All right, let's keep going, one step at a time." As dawn neared, they turned toward a new path. Next stop the swamps, he said quietly. The swamp lay still, unaware it would soon host the next run of an unexpected star. Notifications appeared online. New video from Grand Warlock streamer. Viewers rushed to see what dropped. One viewer checked the Rising Star page. Huh? No new uploads. Nothing's showing up here. A suggestion popped up. Search Lucky Streamer. Moments later, his speedrun video appeared, already gaining attention fast. Someone clicked play. Huh? They muttered, then froze, watching Lucky burst onto the screen, glowing with energy. Lucky howled triumphantly as the system message appeared, dungeon cleared. The screen lit with golden light. Comments exploded online. Whoa! The Dorito mine record was broken! The swordsman's 411 is history! And a dog did it solo, one viewer typed. The clip timer confirmed it exactly 4:09. Seriously? The swordsman lost to a wolf? Another wrote. That dog beat the record with ease. Two players watched in shock. He didn't even cast spells. The wolf just destroyed everything himself. Someone paused the video. Wait, why is it 6 minutes long? Is there more hidden? Bonus footage? One guessed. Another replied. Maybe it's another clip. He's uploading faster than I can watch. The screen flashed. The Warlock reappeared. Let's talk about the item I used recently, he began. He smiled slyly. Some of you asked where to find it. I brought something new, too. Raising a glowing weapon, he said, Guess what this is? Then I'll reveal all my items. Asmo, stunned by the performance, donated $10,000 his way of acknowledging Lucky's legendary solo run.